very loudly.
Fair enough. There. Barge box is on.
And now, judging by when YouTube decided to put this on, which is always interesting. See, back in the day, there was a massive delay, so you could kind of know. Now, nobody knows, really. It's like it sets up, then it starts doing a little bit, then it does a little bit, and goddamn it, see, and now it yeeted one of the super chats I was saving there too. Cause it's like, oh, it'll be no. Then it updates, like, oh, YouTube, you piece of shit. Anywho, hello. If you didn't notice, we are here now. Kyle had to give birth, and so he was now late.
No.
That's the story, and I'm sticking to it.
Fair enough.
Chat should congratulate him with a pregnancy well completed. Yes.
Pregnancy survived. New objective. Raise the child. I don't know.
To be fair, it's not an entirely harmless procedure, you know.
That's true. In fact, he killed most Waymanses back in the day, if I remember right.
I don't know about most, but a significant percentage
Well,
at the very
a
least.
fair bit, not most, because otherwise humanity would be a very sad race, wouldn't we? We'd be like, ugh.
A considerable number were indeed taken care of by their own children, which is a little bit mean to think about, but such is life. Right, let me just do the couple of super chats that got wiped out by YouTube before I even started. Otherwise, I will never forget this, and then we will move on to our first topic, which is Ubisoft being surprisingly sensible for once, which is interesting. Harpy81 says, off with their heads. That's very cruel and unusual. I did delay the stream once I received notice of Kyle's labor, so I believe I have done everything in my power. And Boag saying, once again, the show is Dev and Kibbs. Gay.
Dev and Kibbs, where's Barch? He's like, I killed him.
I don't receive much blame for these things, which is good. The chat understands that I am guiltless in these various mishaps.
This sounds like a mistake if you ask me, chat. A mistake?
There we are. That way I won't at least lose track of those two that YouTube decided to remove. YouTube. Anywho, Ubisoft. Right, so Ubisoft is a company. Some might argue. Others might argue that it is simply a form of ritualized sexual harassment at this point. It's the OG of the Blizzard allegations. Ubisoft has been accused repeatedly of inappropriately touching their female employees for, I think, like 3 years now. Like, they've put a lot of effort into this, remarkably enough, but nothing has really come from it. Being French, I guess they kind of just assume it, like, yes, so what? And then they just shove it under the carpet where it belongs, I guess. But despite this, they've actually been doing fairly well recently, honestly. Like, Ubisoft has not been doing too poorly. At least not on the building front. The rest of the stuff they release could not... I could not care less about shit like Assassin's Creed anymore, or not Fallout, Far Cry, or any of that nonsense.
Far Cry. Or what they've done to Tom Clancy's name besides drag it through the mud.
Oh, that's right. They're also habitually raping that thing too, Tom Clancy.
Tom Clancy's like, I made all these books, and Ubisoft's like, we have the video game license. Let's use his name as much as possible for games that really don't have anything to do with his stuff hardly anymore. Slowly but surely.
Yeah, no, they pretty much just put his name on things these days, and figure that's a good one.
Famous spy novel writer, author man. Also, he likes his alternate history.
Quite a lot of alternate history. In fact, I quite like a lot of his alternate history takes. I do love me some alternate history, because there's a lot of really cool scenarios you can explore there that are very, very interesting. It can also be done very poorly, though, and he is guilty of that on occasion, too, where the alt history isn't so much alt history as it is, what if this insane and unbelievably improbable thing happened?
Yeah, like End War is a bit one of those. But the thing is, with his works, one thing I always found interesting is you always get alt history people that focus on like, antiquity or like maybe something further back, like, I don't know, the 1800s or whatever, or World War II. His was always themed around like the Cold War, like what if the Cold War developed differently? And I always thought that was interesting.
The Cold War is a setting that requires it needs much more coverage and love and attention. Part of the problem is nobody really. It's one of those things. Nobody's really covered that period extensively. Like we kind of know what the Warsaw Pact's invasion plans were roughly, but there's only like two scenarios, and even the Russians were like, "Yeah, this probably isn't going to work, so we're probably just going to nuke everything."
Well, the goal was not to actually reach the war plan. The idea was entirely, proxy wars, which is what happened, and espionage, as well as their plan to basically undermine our education system and basically make us all into SJWs, which, while they may have died as a nation state, their plan is still working.
Yeah, I mean, you can't completely disregard their efforts. Certainly
Their economy just wasn't able to survive, sadly.
of um, of Ubisoft, which we want to just turn a little bit off.
Mhm.
Ubisoft's business model at the moment primarily revolves around, as you mentioned, abusing Tom Clancy. I don't know if he's spinning in his grave yet. I don't remember actually. But if he is in his grave, he is certainly spinning.
Yeah.
The other key aspect of their business plan is pumping stupid people for money by saying we're totally gonna make Beyond Good and Evil 2, guys. Just give us another decade or so.
Oh, that's another game series. I inherited a copy from my family, but I've never played, and I've always heard people go like, they're gonna make another one for like ever. It's almost like the Psychonauts, but they got a sequel, I think.
Yes, Psychonauts is actually better off than Beyond Good and Evil 2 right now. As far as I know, like Beyond Good and Evil 2, it has like a trailer and maybe some promotional screenshots, and that's pretty much it. And Ubisoft has been promising that they're totally working on this now for years, but I haven't really put myself too much into that because honestly, Beyond Good and Evil, it was revolutionary for the time, but I think if Beyond Good and Evil came out today, it would be almost be considered cliche and very passe, honestly. But we'll see. Maybe they can live up to expectations. I just, normally when people expect lightning to strike twice, it tends to disappoint people, in my
Yeah.
experience.
Sometimes it can, with a lot of games, it can be lightning in a bottle. And the one thing that I think a lot of people forget, right, is when you see your favorite people get back together to make a game, when you're making a game and when you're making something, whether it's a book or whatever, one thing that you'll always notice is that you change with how you make stuff changes with how you grow as a person, you know? And so those circumstances that made that work then may not necessarily exist for that formula to work today. Not to say that it couldn't happen, but so much has changed, so many people have changed, and I see some people in chat going like about woke, but to tie that into this, but yeah, like a lot of people change, and sometimes they're radicalized. In the case of wokeist, is another form of radicalization. So it might have happened.
Yes. This is something we also saw with Paradox's aborted development of the Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2 game, where they actually got one of the original creators and writers who had turned into a massive SJW over the period, and had stated openly that he would never make that game again today. Like he would never make Bloodlines again now because it was too edgy, too edgy.
Yep. And it's funny, creators even admit this, by the way. Like, they wouldn't make these kinds of games because they themselves as people have changed. And that's, in a way, it's tragic, honestly. Because that means we'll never get games in that same footing from those same developers. Not to say we won't get games like that from different people, though.
There's also much to be said about the chemistry of a game being made. Like you can look at Command and Conquer, for example, and then you can look at the Petroglyph, the studio, which have tried to recreate that magic and have more or less roundly failed up until they began doing some remasters, which I hope they'll be doing more of.
Yes, there's actually interesting bit of news with that. They've actually have a secret publisher that they are not announcing. They're working on something. Allegedly, it's pretty big because they dropped all work on what they're doing now. So there's some speculation. People think it's a Star Wars Empire at War 2. Some people think it might be the next CNC remaster. We're gonna have to wait and see what Petroglyph announce.
But that might very well be exciting. What else has Ubisoft been up to? They've been re-releasing Far Cry again and again and again. Basically the same game with the same goddamn radio towers and the same
Oh man,
goddamn mechanics.
the last
But
Far
with different
Cry.
skins.
What was the last Far Cry you played? I have to ask you this.
The jungle one. Like it's been a very long time since I gave a shit about that series.
I made it all the way to the "Keep a Rifle by Your Side," that song they made as a parody, and then people liked it, and they're like, "No, you're not supposed to like
Yes.
it." It's like, well, you made a catchy tune. This is your fault.
This is your problem, boys.
This is what happens. You made good music and you fucked up, I guess. Apparently, you didn't want this to happen for some reason.
Like, you made a bunch of extremely independent-minded Christian religious conservatists, and people were looking at them going like, you know what? It's not too bad, really.
Some of their antagonists are actually somewhat sympathetic, and I think that's actually good writing. I think they should do more of that. Because what was the Far Cry where you go to the Himalayas, or the mountains up there, and there's like this main bad guy, but it turns out both sides you side with are they're just awful. And the dictator, the reason why he's so tyrannical is because he's holding the nation together.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I didn't play.
That one was good because the only good ending was to do nothing.
I used to like Far Cry was a pretty cool idea, and I played the first Far Cry when the first Far Cry has nothing to do whatsoever with Far Cry as it is now. Nothing, absolutely nothing. It's barely the same genre, even pretty.
Oh
much.
yeah, especially play the first Far Cry and then play Far Cry 2, and you're like, these games aren't even the same. And Far Cry 2 has a lot of like simulation things that were kind of cool. Huh? You gonna say me something? You don't want me to open up that G4 thing, do you? I hope not. Oh.
Not yet. What else have we been doing? There's the Assassin's Creed, which has like that's another series that just isn't at all what it started out as. Because now you've got like Vikings and pirates and Greeks, and it's like, what the hell is any of this? What is even going on?
It's just an excuse to go back in time and mess around in those periods. And honestly, I don't even like that because, in my opinion, the gameplay it's just become like an RPG. I don't know if you played the recent ones, but like it's grindy. You just bonks things, and there's like grinding XP, and you can buy premium stuff to level up faster. And it's like, what the hell is this game? This is
from what I've seen of them. They look like they've become very much so Far Cry-fied.
They kind of have, except they've somehow become mobilized or mobified. Like they're mobily feeling to them. I did like I enjoyed exploring the Viking one and just perusing Hadrian's Wall and thinking to myself like, this wall is absurd in terms of its size because it's not remotely historically accurate. And the Greek one was fun because it was cool to like just look at the Greek architecture that they had, the buildings. But beyond just the exploration factor, I really think it lacks the same kind of soul as you would see in, I don't know, say Witcher 3 or something. That the quests feel very sterile and bland.
Mm-hmm. But beyond these more repetitive entrances into the Ubisoft catalog, they've actually been doing very well with their building games. Anno 1800 is probably one of the best builders ever, honestly.
Yeah, we've been playing that a lot, haven't we? And it's still fun. Like, we're not bored of it either. How many hours have we put into it now?
Quite a lot. Like, it is an excellent city builder. And what I really want to give them credit for, too, is Paradox keeps talking about this, and they keep misunderstanding their own goddamn point, where they're like, oh, we're going to make it accessible without compromising the complexity. And then they compromise the complexity. every single solitary goddamn cucking time.
Mm-hmm.
But what Anno did was Anno has not simplified the complexity at all. Like they've still got nice long building chains. It's a very long game. There's a lot of resources, and there are several areas with differing complexities and different resources and different building chains. It's quite complex and quite interesting. But what they did was they made it immediately obvious what is required for everything else. When you need to make soap, at no point do you wonder, what the hell do I need to make soap? Because it's laid out right there, the exact
Yep.
resources and how to make it and where to make it. You are never in doubt as to what it is you need to be working on next.
That's true. It's very easy to figure out, especially when you go to a new biome. Like, I find myself, once you get the gameplay loop, then it's very easy to understand. And that's honestly pretty good. Like, they've added more complexity. Arch is absolutely right. There's more features in this Anno. Like, you can, I know Fairman likes to get, like, different artifacts and stuff to enhance our cities and stuff. There's so much stuff to do. Like, there's so many islands. There's so many, like, in what do you call them, biomes, I guess, kind of like to explore. Like, it's really cool with all the stuff that you can do in that game. And honestly, I think Anno is taking a step in the right direction. After 2250, whatever it was called, that one kind of sucked because it was single player and it didn't do this. Anno 1800 actually was a full recovery, in my opinion. Like, it's just good,
Yeah.
gameplay wise. They did make one dumb decision, and Ubisoft forced Blue Byte to pull their game off Steam. It's only on Uplay, and it's only on Epic, which is so awful. They still update the Steam version, and they still respond to people on the Steam forums. I did check. So, but Blue Byte is doing their due diligence to at least give a damn. So no one's abandoned. That's good.
The Epic decision was a terrible mistake, and I am sure it has cost the game dearly as well, because Anno 1800, despite being so goddamn good, it's a game that is never talked about. Like it's well under the radar for most people, where it really shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. It's an excellent city builder.
It's one of the best city builders of our time too, and it's got great multiplayer. You can share city building, and it's actually really intuitive and fun.
Yeah, it's a very solid game, and a lot of, if not in fact, actually all of the credit for that has to fall on the developer Blue Bytes, which are an excellent developer, despite being also raging SJWs in all due likelihood, which, it's the modern year, what the fuck can you do?
I mean, I will give them this credit. It's not egregious. It was more egregious in 2070 with their environmentalism politics. But honestly, if you make a really good game and you keep that shit to the down low, like I can brush off the little bit of annoyances that are there and acknowledge the game is fun, ignoring the African university thing that they got going.
It's more subdued, more in the background. Like, for example, in Anno 1800, you come to the New World, which is Mexico, basically. And you arrive there with massive ships. You come from the Western world, you've got electricity, all of these things. And all of the dialogue is sassy Mexicans basically going like, "Oh, we'll help you make this better." It's like, you're a rebellious bunch of runaways. Like, you have nothing. I have made everything for you. It's like, you're doing a good job making our lives better. Like, okay.
Yeah, I like it when you go to Africa and he's like, we are superior African people. Also, our infrastructure's crap. Please help. Please help.
Oh yeah, well, you arrive in Africa too, and there's a bunch of little African islands there, and the king has this enormous fucking palace, like Middle Eastern style palace. It's tremendously huge, and it's clearly not built by them. Let's put it like that.
I think they took it from the Arabs, if I had to guess.
Yes, if anything, it's very Arab in origins. And every other island is a complete shithole of just ruins. Everything is ruined. And yet they're like, "Oh, we are a proud people. Look at our old technology." And you look around and it's just wasteland and deserts and ruined buildings. And you go,
the worst part is the most advanced you can build their buildings is like mud huts that have a second story.
Yeah, like you can't even do anything particularly advanced with them either.
I mean,
And yet, the game is constantly like, oh, look at this incredible civilization. They're so welcoming and diverse. Well, yeah, I know actual Africa, but never mind.
yeah, there's a bit of that, but at least the game's fun. And the best part is Africa's basically useless anyways. I just like building Kibdesia anyways, because, we need a Rhodesia.
That's true. The only use for Africa is getting researchers, because white people can't
Don't
research,
forget,
as it turns out.
we had the Lobster Wars, and then we couldn't retake the island because there was a bug. This was very tragic.
There's even a lovely portion where you are asked to go around looking for designs for the new Grand University, and there's just a bunch of these African designers, all of which have created very European structures with a lot of curved arches and shit that we didn't figure back out again until the 1800s odd. And the African designer too is like, "Yeah, yes, very, very standard, very basic, not good enough." Like, oh, okay, video game, very well. It's dumb. A lot of it's very dumb, but again, it's relatively subdued. It doesn't push it in your face. It's just throwaway lines that you kind of sigh at and go, yes, yes, yes. But none of this is actually the topic we were going to talk about at all.
New game, new city builder.
Which is the other part. Right, yeah, so those of you who are not, like Kyle, a fetus, will know the Settlers series.
Hey, I know the Settler series. My first entry was like number 5 or something, or 6.
That's what I mean.
It was the first 3D one. Early 3D graphics. And Bloom was super popular. I remember that.
Bloom. Always a fine addition to any video game.
Everything's irradiated. It's glowing.
But the rest of us who were born in a decent timeline, we remember the Settlers series as this really, really goddamn old series. Now, it was really cool, too. Like, the very first Settlers had this kind of, it was like the title, Settlers to America, Settlers to a New World. It was very mysterious in a way. I still remember like the splash screen, which had a bunch of Greeks just wandering ashore whilst Indians were looking at them suspiciously. And combat, I think this was Settlers 2. Combat was conducted by units spitting at one another.
I don't know. Don't look to me for guidance.
Yeah, no, that was Settlers too. Like, combat was, they spat at one another. Like, there was actual spitting attacks. Like, the Vikings would spit at their enemies.
Like, they visually spat, or they spit units from the settlements at each other?
They visually spat. That was their mode of attack.
Ah, I see. Biological warfare. They're trying to spread their diseases to them. Got it.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And it was also real cool because everything had a little animation. Everything had a little animation. Like the cheese maker would roll little wheels of cheese outside. The mint person would stand outside, like tapping his feet and shit. And it was really, really, really cool. It was also balls to the walls hard. And I remember as a tiny little baby myself, I was scared shitless of the enemy. I was like, "Eva, computer, go eat me." And I couldn't make myself play the campaign because I was scared of the yellow people. Oh, Jesus. It's been a while. But now, Settler is coming back, and it's not Settlers, the current series. I think we were up to Settlers 7? 7? No. I think, no, was it more? There was a lot anyways. Like, we were up to a lot of Settler titles at one point. I think it was 7. And they'd only gotten worse. Like, they'd only gotten worse. They'd gotten really cartoony, really dumb, really childish. They had lost almost all of the point of the original Settlers, and they had just become a standard, run-of-the-mill, basic bitch city builder. Like, it had none of that Settlers feel anymore. Now, the Settlers that will be made by Blue Bytes is an actual full reboot of the series. So they're not making an expansion, they're not making Settlers 8, they're actually making just the Settlers. And we don't know a massive amount about it. Like, it's been in development for eons. It's supposedly coming out, what was it? This March, I believe?
Okay. So within this year.
Yes, it's coming out, I think, this March. And God, I hope, I really hope it's a bit of a return to form there as well. Because again, Anno 1800 was really, really, really good. So if they manage to repeat that with Settlers, I'll be really, really happy. Yet at the same time, I'm looking at it in a bit, and you can see some of that old school settler style. In fact, let me.
The building's got the cartoonish looks. I remember because I have looked at it on GOG. GOG.com. Oh, he sent me something.
And then see this. Like, this is the screen where they're running a animated little thing of the video game, basically. Some animated stuff.
There's like building stuff like we's living in a settler. Yeah, they're settlers. But why are they doing that? The building's got that classic sort of like 90s cartoonish sort of fluffiness to them, if you will.
Yes, and they seem to be tied more to roads, as in the old school settlers, in that the roads are the arteries. All of the civilians travel alongside the roads to bring stuff, because you can clearly see them clipping to the roads. And then you've got all of the buildings. They've got those cute little animations. All of the little characters are doing what they're supposed to be doing and stuff. It's got a lot more of that settler feel to it. I do hope that'll be really good. But at the same time, they've also got another splash screen art which has the usual strong, independent woman standing there, surrounded by the men. You've got the very stereotypical Viking, and you've got the indigenous people, and I'm like, oh, it is Blue Byte. Please just do like Anno, keep it in check, boys, and I'll be very, very happy with you.
Yeah, as long as it's not what's the word, pretentious, and it's talking down to you. Because honestly, I find the most insulting thing in a game is when they talk down to you as if you're like a baby. You're like, just so you know that the brown people and the white people are not the same. The brown people are better. And it's like, oh my god, dude. Because that's annoying when they get pretentious.
Yes, it is. It very much so is.
What they should do is just, tell the story from each cultural's perspective. Maybe it's like if they have a campaign, because that's kind of cool. I'm actually happy that there's gonna be different factions, so it's not just one aesthetic. You got some Viking people, some, I don't know, Germanic maybe, and then you got maybe some like Incans or something, Aztecs or what?
I don't know. The design of the people are very, well, honestly, very settlery in many, many ways. Like, you've got the Viking, he's wearing a goddamn wolf cloak, wielding an axe, 2 axes, in fact, of course. Then you've got a chick just wearing like medieval style armor thing, but she's a redhead, and I do enjoy redheads, so that's fine, that's acceptable.
Good.
And then you've got a guy who, I don't even know how I should describe him.
He's got some sort of bone spear staff. Okay, so perhaps
he's got like shells on his vest, like Inca meets Hawaii meets Pocahontas.
Yeah, wow, what is he from? What's his inspiration? He's all over the place. Like, I can see it's some sort of tribal influence from Americas there, but I get this Hawaii vibe because of how they've done the things around the cankles. His calves, I know, I just gotta call them cankles, but still, like, it's
he's also wearing what looks like some kind of snakeskin pelt.
Where are you from? That culture's a bit weird. Like, yeah, the medieval chick's generic as hell. It's just generic armor, generic medieval sword, fantasy, whatever. But where's he from? Like, what's his root inspiration?
I have a sneaking suspicion that the lead guy just went over to one of the concept artists and just looked at him and then just said, America, and then just kind of walked away.
It's like, I don't know, just something like Mesoamerican, I don't know, Central, like it just anything in that vicinity. He's like, anything, and they're just like, well, I'll do everything.
Like, both continents. Like there's some South American in there. There's definitely some Hawaiian in there. There's some Indian in there. It's like, oh, okay.
Well,
If
assuming they don't
you
do
say so.
something stupid, we can try it when it launches.
They're also working on a goddamn Avatar game. Jesus Christ, I don't.
Avatar
I don't
game?
this. Yes.
Avatar, the movie Avatar.
Yes.
Oof, that's cringe. You know what's strange?
Cringe, but not as cringe. Not as cringe as the Microsoft. Microsoft is working on an Avatar MMO.
The thing is with Avatar is it was a movie that had really cool CGI. It was super popular, but it immediately vanished out of people's minds because it was forgettable. It wasn't very memorable. It wasn't very good either. It just had a lot of money in the CG.
Tremendous flash in the pan. Like it was enormous for about 5 seconds.
Yeah, it was huge. Like it dwarfed Titanic sales. Like it's massive, but it's also pop culture wise, it's forgotten.
Let me send you this here because we might as well cover this too. Because my first reaction upon seeing this was just a loud, audible groan as an Avatar MMO is coming this year, apparently.
What? I never even heard about that. I
don't think anyone has heard about that.
You sent me a screen. See, I already see a screenshot, and like the first thing I have, if they want to like continue the conflict between humanity and like the blue people, like the real answer is humanity just returns and just nukes the area, and then sends in drones to mine the material. Oh my god, the story's so bad. Like they literally call the resource unobtainium.
Yep.
Like it's the most laziest writing. It's like, oh, it's unobtainium. It's so deep. No, it isn't. Fuck off. No, it is. You stole this story from what's that movie? There's an American movie about the Wild West about some guy who went native. It's called like Wolf something or Wolves. I forget. But the
Dances with Wolves.
Dances with the Wolves. Yes. Yeah, like I watched that, and after watching the Avatar, and the Avatar movie just steals the plot. Like it steals it almost beat for beat, and it's really bad about it. That was a dumb movie, by the way. I don't like it either.
It was a dumb movie. It was a very dumb movie, and it deserved a lot of angry noises. And yet, we are now going to get an an Avatar MMO this year from Microsoft. This year, nobody's heard about this, and it's coming out this year.
It's gonna flop.
I don't even know where to begin. Like, should we start? Oh, here's the thing, too, right now. It's supposedly been in development for a while. They claim we don't know. It was just announced now. Nobody quite knows how to react to any of this. Really, it's a thing. It is a joint venture between Disney and Tencent as well, which is when Satan starts having butt sex with Beelzebub. Is all I can really say about that.
See, the problem is like MMO material. You need a game with a world that's vast. It's expansive. It's filled with story. The Final Fantasy has like a lot of stuff that it builds up to stuff. World of Warcraft has a huge world behind it. Avatar doesn't have any of that. Like, it's gonna run into the same problem New World had. There's like everything feels soulless as is. It's gonna be corporate as all hell. I see this not working well. I also see Hong Kong Limited, which just equates out to CCP.
It's it will certainly be an interesting thing. Interesting with heavy quotation marks.
Look at that little copyright. You see that? I don't know what that is, but Hong Kong Limited. That's not a good sign. The Hong Kong fell. Tragic music.
Hong Kong doesn't exist anymore. This is true, Kyle.
This is a tragedy. Why didn't the Republic of China invade to save them? We have to ask them later. More at 11. More at 11. We don't have a military. Shut up. Invade.
Taiwan's not very large anymore, tragically.
We should make them bigger. They deserve to be a bigger country.
They do, but
they deserve
that's
more
going to
land.
involve a lot of things happening.
I want to see fat Taiwan.
Oh yes, the chat also points out the whole what was his name again? The boss of some thing.
Huh?
Phil Spencer? Bill Spencer?
Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer, Xbox dude, right? Yeah? Maybe? Possibly?
Phil Spencer, Xbox. Yeah, I think it might be that little bastard.
What's he up to?
Was it him? Because he's had quite a lot of hot takes recently, shall we say, including talking about toxicity, online toxicity, and data collection, which I do love. It's like, yes, toxicity is very bad. Give us your credit card information.
They don't actually care about... Like, the thing is, all that PR speech is, they just want more information so that they can follow what you do. It's like, when we talk about stuff, I've talked like about Avatar. I guarantee if I open up my Amazon account, my Amazon account's going to have Avatar stuff in it now. He's like, you want some Avatar toys? You want some Avatar... No. They listen. Like, every time we're doing anything, whether we're talking about any subject... I always notice that the things I talk about end up in the recommendeds. And I'm like, that can't be a coincidence every time, can it?
No.
They're selling the crap I'm saying. And then their ads are like, yes, they're catered towards me. Isn't that... Oh, that's sweet. They cater towards me. Good. At least I get ads that are relevant.
Thank you.
Yay! See, we gotta look at the bright side more. We're too negative here. Thank you for the ads that are relevant. Oh my god!
But he's I was thinking of doing a little bit more of a bigger video on him, probably for Monday, because Phil Spencer has been saying a lot of shit. The whole recent thing, that was the big current controversy, is that he wants a cross-platform banning program and list. So basically, he wants to see a world in which where you are banned off Xbox, you will then also be banned off Steam and Microsoft and PlayStation and everywhere.
Nintendo? Basically. Yeah, that's actually extraordinarily tyrannical, because it's like, okay, you didn't do anything wrong on Sony's side, but apparently you did something wrong on Microsoft's. Like, it's the universal ban thing, honestly. That sounds awful. Like, how do you even appeal that? I don't even know. Especially if you buy products. It's like, I paid you.
There is no appeal.
I know, that's the problem. There should be.
There should be.
You gave them money. And yeah.
The worst part too is here, like, I don't think this is legal by any stretch of the imagination, but the problem is we don't know the legalities of these particular things, because what he's actually arguing for here isn't just to see you banned off a platform. Like, that isn't the extent of it. If you say a naughty word on Xbox and you lose access to your Xbox profile, you lose access to all of the things you purchased there, that is dubious legality in and of itself. Because what they keep doing is they define all of the things you own as a service, like you are purchasing a license, which is absolute bullshit, mind you. But how the hell would you justify you breaking a rule on Xbox and losing access to your games on Steam without having violated Steam's terms of service?
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
That honestly, to me, it's just like saying stuff for PR sake. I don't think there's any teeth or bite behind what he said there. At least in my opinion. It's just like bark, 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 bark. Because they
Well,
do
that's
a
the
lot of
thing,
barking
because
over there.
Phil Spencer has been pushing this extreme line for a very, 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 very long time now. He originally began talking about how Xbox is not a free speech platform, so the things,
Yeah.
because he wanted censorship, and he's going to get censorship. Like, this guy is in a position of power. Now he wants a cross-platform ban list as well to take away the stuff you own because you said naughty words somewhere.
How do you even get a ban on Xbox anymore? I don't even know.
And additionally, he's also pushing, of course, for increased surveillance as well. Because how are they going to make this ban list? How are they going to figure out who deserves to be banned? Well, they want more surveillance. They want to record everything you say. They want to keep a database of everything you say.
All
And
that-
this too is a pure excuse. This is actually a genuine pure excuse. Because what they primarily want there is to analyze what you want to buy, what you're talking about, what you might be interested in.
That's the real data they're after, though. Because they don't really want to start mass banning people. They want to start getting people to spend more money. Corporations are about money first.
Yes. And this is where we enter into that weird limbo again, where since nobody's really gone the court route for most of this, we don't know where the line lies. We don't know if they're allowed to do this. Hell, the entirety of the surveillance stuff in and of itself, there's a lot of states and a lot of nations out there where you have you need consent from parties to record anything at all. And with terms of service being the supposed consent, but terms of service not probably being, arguable in a court. Like, you can't say, oh, you signed a TOS. Yeah, but nobody reads those. It probably wouldn't even count as consent for the recording. So, are they breaking the law every time they're recording us? Like, when Twitter records your Twitter things or a conversation, how does that work? Is it recording only speech? Is it just voice? What is the legality surrounding that? It's a hellish mine pit, and we don't know anything really surrounding it. Because again, it's new technology. Nobody's discussed it. Nobody's talked about it. Nobody's made the rules clear. We don't know. And the corporations are going to keep using that for as long as they can, because if they can just keep doing it and get away with it, why not?
Yeah, that's kind of the situation we're in. The corporations have pushed things so far that now it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like where does the line? Where's the line? And in my opinion, there isn't a line, because they're just gonna keep doing it. Because you know what? Most people are just gonna be okay with it. They don't care.
They are legislating via terms of service, practically. Like, they're asking you to sign away fundamental rights you have.
Those aren't enforceable in court, by the way.
Well, that's the problem. Like, we don't even know how much of it is and isn't. Like refunds, for example. Most countries have fairly stringent rules surrounding refunds. And yet, no internet platform, Steam, Origin, etc., most of them have very little, if any, refund policies. Which brings us to further questions too, like what constitutes a broken product in terms of a game? Because if you bring your vacuum cleaner home and it doesn't start, you are entitled to bring that thing back for a full compensation, or at the very least, a new, fully functional product. If you buy the new Battlefield game and it doesn't start,
yeah, isn't that true?
What are you entitled to?
Exactly. Like, if I generally get, like, let's say I buy an oscillating fan, right, and it's broken. If I call, Amazon, generally they'll refund it. And if I skip Amazon and I just call the manufacturer themselves, they'll send me a replacement as well. Generally. Like, I've never really had issues with that. But if I buy Battlefield, and something, and they'll be like, no, we're not issuing refunds. What? like the rest of the world will do this. Why won't you? It's kind of weird. Like, it's a digital thing. It's even less paperwork involved. They don't even have to ship anything even.
Well, they do it because they can get away with it.
I know.
Or at least they believe they can get away with it.
I only
And because again the rules are so very vague and wishy-washy. It's a bit of a problem, which kind of brings us on to the what was supposed to be the last topic, but since we've kind of arrived here organically, we can talk about Battlefield 2042, which I was very optimistic about to begin with because all of their marketing made it look like it was intended to be basically a love letter to the fandom. It's like, okay, right, well that's good if you're making something specifically to please people who like your product.
That's pretty cool.
It's gonna be good.
That's the marketing team doing a good job, by the way. Good job, marketing team. They spun a really good lie. So honestly, one thing came out of the Battlefield thing. The marketing team deserves a pay raise. Very deceptive.
Yes. Because the marketing team told us that they were making Battlefield again. They were making another Battlefield game, goddammit, instead of Call of Duty with a tank.
Yeah, you know what?
And what we got was 2042. This not even functional mess of a title with this half-assed environmentalist message, like dreadful caricatures of Battlefield, like the specialists. God, I hate the fucking specialists.
It was terrible. I can't think of one thing I even liked about them. Maps were too big, and there was nothing in them. Vehicles were way too powerful, and that was a problem in the older Battlefields as well, where vehicles were just too strong. And on top of it, like, it just didn't work. It's buggy, it's crappy, it's not fun to play. It's garbage. It's garbage. And the best thing about 2042 is the Portal. And here's the kicker about the Portal. You could just go buy the old game and play that instead. What? Why the hell would you buy a new game and it only has one level of a better Battlefield game? Fuck that. No, I'm not doing that. That's when I don't know. I don't think we did pre-order. I think we were skeptical and we didn't buy it. Because I instead decided to pick up Battlefield 1 and had a lot more fun with that old thing than in this new garbage.
We got into the alpha test, which, man, was that a mistake? They ran an alpha test to be like, hey, it's Battlefield, yay! And then people played it and were like, hold on, this doesn't work. Like, this is actually just broke.
The game is broken.
Yeah, that was not that was not a good marketing play, sadly. And now, Steam is issuing refunds to Battlefield 2042, even if it goes against their own refund policy. Like, even if you played it for many hours, etc., etc., if you request a refund for 2042, they're just going to give you one, because the game is indefensible. It's just actually indefensible.
It's a good PR move, and it's actually really... Ironically, Steam isn't, a saint either, but that's actually very compassionate to do. But it is very much a PR move, and a good PR move at that. Look at Steam, fucking one-upping EA. They're like, excuse me, let me just be better than you. Not that it's particularly hard.
Steam certainly has its problems.
Oh man, see with EA, so it's a mixed bag. EA is such a massive ass company. Like, we got CNC Remaster, which was actually really, really good. And then it's like, maybe they got a turnaround. And then the next game goes like, nope. No. Nope, not at all. Too big of a company to make any judgment with just one release. Would need to be a series of releases being good back to back.
Oh, such a disappointment too, because I was really ready to love that game. I wanted it to be good.
You had a craving to play Battlefield games again. And to be fair, I think all of us do. Like, it would be nice to go back to a Battlefield game like 2042 or Battlefield Bad Company 2. Like, those games are great.
They were, but that's not what we're gonna get.
Wait, this is 2042? Oh my god, no. I meant the other one, the other futuristic one.
The other future one.
214576? 2142. Thank you. Not 2042.
That was a really cool little experiment that they never went back to. I don't really know why.
What's funny is DICE used the Titan system, and they used it in Battlefront 2 EA, which was actually somewhat kind of fun, but it wasn't very well implemented. And then they used it in Battlefield 1 a lot more. And the problem is, the way the Titans worked in that one is they come in for the losing side, but by that point, the game's already over. So it's too late. Cool idea, though. Big giant war machines. I like that. Like the Super French tank, or like the big battle blimp, or the big dreadnought.
Here, have this thing. You can have fun for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, before you lose. It's like, okay, I'll take my battle choo-choo.
It's bloody tragic. And when it's bad enough to get Steam to give you your money back.
For you? Oh. Yeah. Fuck's sake.
It's mildly tragic.
Honestly, Steam's probably was taking a PR hit because the game was so bad, honestly. If I had to speculate a little, that Steam's like, crap, our PR's taking a hit to this. Like, we need to do something because EA's dragging us down because of our refund policy isn't able to cover the disaster that this game is.
Yep. It was a very bad thing. But speaking of bad things, we do have to talk about G4, but we're gonna tease you a little bit before the G4 thing, because the G4 was just excellent. So we'll do some super chats just to let people warm up to the grand finale here. Yes, G4. A relic of the old internet that died for a good reason, and you probably should just have left the corpse, but
why you do this to me? You want me to open the article? Are you ready?
No.
Does that mean yes?
No.
That means yes. No means yes.
Kind of difficult to communicate to.
Arch is being resistant. This is not good.
Also probably why he's a rapist.
You don't have proof.
So, let me go through some of these super chats. Then, Boag says, also happy birthday to Gibbs. Congrats on being 21 years old.
27. I know the 1 can look like a 7 can look like a 1 if you draw it wrong. So, we all make mistakes.
Yeah, I don't think you're that old either. 21.
Don't do this to me. I'm not that young.
What's the matter, Kyle? Normally, women like to be mistaken for younger women.
See, the thing is about being a man, it's all about being a little bit older, because you're like, I'm experienced, and the women's are like, wow. And then they block you, and you're like, God damn it.
That does happen as well on occasion.
Worth a try.
Floral78 says, the Keeb must present cheeks and apologize. I believe that might be appropriate, yes. He tried to give me an explanation for why he was late today, and he was very confused, and it involved babies and stuff, and I don't really know.
It wasn't even confused. It was very simple. I was like, oh, I'm just seeing some new family member. Because, big little baby. Little baby was born, and it's all wriggly. And I haven't seen baby in billions of years, as in ever. Baby had tiny hands. Little baby fingies. Oh my god. Baby fingies are so small.
If they have large fingies, something has gone dreadfully wrong, and you should probably panic.
Rapid growing baby.
What was that movie? What was that fucking movie? Button something.
Button something. That's
Button
vague.
Something. It was about a person who aged backwards.
This doesn't ring a bell. At all, actually. At all.
There was definitely a movie about this, and it was weird. Because the baby was born with, like, arthritis and stuff, and people were wondering a bit. Benjamin Button. There you go. Chat.
Benjamin
chat
Button.
knows.
Oh, a baby born with arthritis. That's actually really sad.
Yes. But don't worry, he then grew younger.
What?
Yes, he grew younger.
This is a movie. This isn't real.
Probably not real, no. I don't believe it was based on real events.
Okay, because I'm very confused. I was like, what?
It was a very strange movie, and he'd ended with Benjamin Button just kind of disappearing, as if he'd become a sperm cell or something. It was a weird movie.
This sounds basically kind of up the same alleys as Junior.
No, I wouldn't say so. Like, Junior was
Don't do
an attempt at comedy.
There we go. I would say if you simp for Junior, you're gonna be put in the dumpster again, Arch, and we know you don't like the dumpster. So
To be fair, Junior wasn't that bad.
bagged.
It might have been Arnold's best movie beyond Total Recall.
Arch, I've learned a lot. Arch and I share a lot of movies we like, but he also is a lot more lenient because he likes The Hobbit, and I can't handle his opinion. I need him to change his opinion against his will, and I want him to struggle while his opinion has changed. You know?
The Hobbit was an excellent movie. It was just
Stop it.
stuff that happened.
Stop it.
Dwarves riding in barrels. Orcs being angry because they rode in barrels. Elves freaking out. It was all kinds of cool. Then there was a love story between an elf and a dwarf who fell in love like the moment they saw each other. Which is how that happens, you know. You've been raised to hate this species for your entire life, but suddenly you see one fur little fucker in front of you, and you're just like,
I kind of want to
I've
fuck
been
that.
into this all along.
I do like how the writers like sort of forgot about it in the third movie, and then like, oh yeah, that's right. So like Durin's dying, and it's like, you know, Durin, oh he's super important. It's like, all right, get him out of here. They shove his corpse out of the way. It's like, look, romance, sad, and you're like, oh no, not the romance.
A romance.
Like, God, writers, I'm so glad you remembered that plot that you were doing. That like, yeah.
It had a lot of importance. Certainly more so than Durin, who really only existed to, you know, be there and get a little bit mad.
I'm Durin, and this story's kind of like about me a little bit. And then like there's like, oh, the writers just shove him off. Like, it's actually about Goblin King singing. The Goblin King singing was the most awkward scene in the second movie.
See, Khan's just not very welcoming, which I must condemn.
It felt weird and wrong, and the way he died, he's like, "What are you going to do to stop me?" or something like. And then the Gandalf slices his little belly open. He's like, "That'll do it," and then he falls over dead. And then it's like, "Ha ha, that's really funny, movie. Stop,
yes,
stop, roll the credits, roll the credits."
Right, we need to watch more of Arnold Schwarzenegger's cringe stuff.
We can watch Commando. I've never seen Commando.
No, Commando's not cringy. Commando's just stupid.
Yeah, but I haven't seen. Yeah, but that's like almost every Arnold movie, except Predator. Predator's pretty good if I remember right.
Junior, it is then, and then we'll watch True Lies. True Lies isn't bad necessarily. It's just really cringe. Like, it's one of those movies that actually hurts a little bit to watch.
See, I liked watching Conan, not because Conan was great or anything, but because
Conan was great. Shut your horror.
Listen, Conan doing the just randomly was kind of great.
No, Conan was great. Like, no, we're not compromising.
Yeah, maybe the comics.
Was good shit.
And I like the hold on.
The movie.
More importantly, the best thing about Conan is actually the music. And the shots where the characters are traveling around. You know, that actually inspired the Lord of the Rings movie actually quite a bit. I didn't know that.
Was
bit of trivia.
Awesome. Last Action Hero. Yes. Chat is intelligent. Jingle All the Way. See, I like Jingle All the Way. Jingle All the Way is comedy gold right there. It's stupid. And I wish the movie had been about him being a superhero rather than, you know, being what it was about. But it was still cool.
We watch Arnold Schwarzenegger to hear him make dumb sounds and smile.
Arnold doesn't get enough credit.
He actually has some good movies though, like actually really good movies. Like the fucking Predator was
Total
great.
Recall is
Total Recall.
Predator is a dumb action movie. It's fine, but that's
Predator's great as a dumb action movie, though. It's a solid action movie, and Total Recall is great too. Total Recall
is just a really, really good movie.
Total Recall inspired so much. I like one of my favorite like FPSs. Red Faction was I believe heavily inspired by Total Recall. Pretty good.
Total Recall is just an excellent bloody movie. But moving on, Mark the Shame says, ask New York City about gatekeeping. Non-US citizens can vote in New York elections. I look forward to welcoming Xi Jinping, China, as the next major. I mean, honestly, what's stopping him? Like, legitimately. I mean, I'm assuming there's some kind of laws, even in New York City, that says that you have to live in New York City to be its mayor, I hope. Or be born an American citizen or something. Like, I'm presuming there are some kind of barriers. I hope. Kyle, you're the resident American expert. Tell me, what are the election laws in New York City?
I mean, New York City might as well be like Finland. Like, I don't know anything about it. I don't know. It's a state that exists, and we give it more rights and power than it really should have.
You're not a very good expert. You know that, right?
Listen, I know that my state's kind of poop, and I kind of want to move to a state with no tax laws so I can make more money.
To be fair, I kind of want to move to a state with no tax laws. It sounds pretty dope, frankly.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Fuck.
I want to move to Dubai, okay? Zero goddamn income tax. Straight up. And they keep their women in line.
Sorry, Disco.
Benefits.
Sorry, that was funny.
Because if there are no laws, I heartily encourage Xi Jinping to just take over New York, because it would teach everybody else a lesson.
There's a few nice things about New York. The countryside, and nothing to do with the city. Some of the restaurants there were pretty nice, but a lot of New York things are kind of overrated. And don't get me started on the New Yorkers' obsession. I had a friend from New York who said, you gotta try New York pizza. And I tried it, and I'm like, this is like pizza, but kind of shitty. This is like, you guys can't make pizza. Stop it. Stop pretending. Chicago is better. Wisconsin can make pizza better than you can. Like, come on. Get out.
Oh god, what the hell even says this? Chica Tomato, I think, says Tom Clancy died in 2013. Ah, yes. In that case, he is indeed creating quite a lot of electricity for Ubisoft. Good. It's good to know. Not good that he died necessarily, just good to know. It's a handy piece of knowledge to own.
Well, at least he didn't get to see what Ubisoft would do to his stuff, but maybe he would have some say in over stopping some of that. No, I doubt it.
Nah, I'm pretty sure they owned him, so all he could do was really cry. Yamate.
See, Chad understands.
To violate him.
The only good thing that comes out of Chicago besides Warzone and dead bodies is pizza. True.
Besides Warzone? So that's...
Yeah.
See, over here in the...
They export them.
Over here in Europe, we consider those to be negative things, but...
They got pretty decent pizza. I'll give them that. Chicago deep dish. It's like a pie, but pizza. It's kind of crazy.
It's like a pie, but pizza. I see.
It's pizza.
Goddamn Americans. Mark the Shame says, play Foxhole. Pay me. More. Yeah, Foxhole was fun, but hey, it feels like it would take a while to play.
I'll convince Arch to do it. I'm just gonna have to do something I don't want to do. Means chat has to pay reparation fees to Gibbs for this. True.
It means you're gonna have to level up to max level in Vanity Fair, whatever the fuck the game was called again.
What? Oh my god, I know the game. Enlisted, but why do you keep calling it Vanity Fair?
I don't know. Like I think it's named V something, and I can't quite shake it.
It's Vanity Fair. It's a game about World War II. Vanity Fair. Oh my god.
It's fine, and knowing Gaijin's leveling system, that should take it a while. Michael VPS also says Foxhole waits for the Norwegian. If you wait for something good, you don't wait in vain. Dark Innovator, hail ArchCast. Have you perhaps watched Star Wars vs. Warhammer 40k by a fan with too much time? He's been credited by one as being realistic as you. I take it he has a reputation for being realistic. See, the thing is, we should sit down and do a 40k versus. We should do these universe things because everybody loves them. They get lots of clicks. They're very clickbaity, and nobody does them right. No one. Because
Yep.
here's the thing. I remember a video ages ago, which was titled "Why Does 40k Always Win?" And his basic reasoning was that 40k is really overpowered. That's why, you see. And I hate that line of reasoning because compared to Star Wars, 40k is fucking nothing. Like, you have to define the rules. If you allow Star Wars to bring in shit like the Death Star, like, okay, the Imperium can't defeat the Death Star. Not using its theoretical firepower. The idea that the Rebel fleet was able to exist in the same sector of space as that thing for an extended period of time is absolute bullshit. I looked up its like stats a while ago. It's got something like 1 million missile launchers and 100,000 laser batteries and just shit and stuff and shit and stuff.
Don't worry, it never uses those weapons though.
I know, and that's the thing.
It only uses the one, like, beam of laser thing that blows up planets, which can blow up any capital ship of any size with one shot, and then keep doing it. That is ridiculously powerful, yeah.
And again, like, that doesn't even matter. Like, ignore the Death Star main cannon. Its secondary batteries would be more than enough to wipe out that entire Rebel fleet in the time it takes Luke Skywalker to fart.
I do agree, though. The only one that could probably do it right is Arch. Anybody else is shit. And I'll hate you for doing it, Arch. I'll hate you for doing it because it's cringe, and anybody who does it should probably
for doing it.
Go to heaven.
Wow. You're helping.
He's gonna force me to do it, and this isn't. See, we've done this before, chat. We've been down this road. It's like with Divinity. We played that before we streamed that. You don't even know all the things that we did and never uploaded. You have no idea the misery. Okay? We've done this. We've been down this road like 3 times. We've prepared to do a Star Wars versus Warhammer thing in an encounter. We've done the calculations, and it was cancer.
We haven't. We've barely looked
He's
at
like,
it.
we barely touched it.
We haven't made a document or really gotten started.
Yes, we have a document. I think there's 3 of them.
No, that's for Hoth, you lying little dog.
Oh, he's trying to pull a fast
and the Hoth one's done, basically. Like, this would be another thing, because the first thing we would have to do is basically set all the ground rules to have even a semi-realistic encounter. Like,
there would have to be a whole video discussing the acknowledgements of what we're adhering to. Because the problem with Star Wars is it adheres to several different canons, and everything's different, and you have to pick and define.
You would have to establish all of the rules to begin with. That would be an entire video in itself.
That would be like an hour.
Just addressing the topic of the Death Star, right? The only way the Imperium would have any hope of beating the Death Star, bearing in mind that we are assuming the Imperium wouldn't know about the convenient plot point that allowed Luke Skywalker to kill it in one shot, would be for a fucking Astartes chapter, full strength, to board it. And that would require them to get through all of the point defenses, of which there are hundreds of thousands, and past the shields as well, which are powerful enough to eat the bombardment of an entire fleet. And then they would have to cut their way through a crew. I think I saw numbers up in the millions. Like,
yeah,
the Space Marines would do it. Sure, they'd kill them, because in terms of melee, yeah, no. The Empire has nothing that'll stop Space Marines in close quarters combat, but it would take days, actual literal days of boarding actions just to kill them all.
And then you do the bullshit that is the blasters, the bullshit that are thermal detonators, because they are ridiculous.
Yeah, because then you got to talk about that too. Because one of the things is that the blaster is a fucking plasma weapon
Yeah,
that
it
is
is.
instantly lethal to anything that it hits, and yet in the movies, the important characters keep taking fucking flesh wounds from the blast. Like, no, honey, like that scene where Princess Leia gets shot in the arm, her arm is gone. Like her blood would instantly vaporize. There would be a vapor explosion from her blood. That's how hot that bolt is.
Yes, it would have blown off her arm, and it would have blown off a fair bit of her shoulder blade. She'd probably bleed out and die in shock.
Yes, the shock and the bleed out would be almost instantaneous.
If we're to actually use Star Wars canon, like things how they work in canon is absurd. And that's why Arch raises such a good point that Star Wars is an absurd universe because the person who made it, George Tard Lucas, is kind of a muppet. Oh my god. Then there's the problem with ship classifications, and that's confusing. Destroyers.
Yeah, then you've got to discuss if, because that is one element where the Imperium would have the advantage. Like the Star Wars weaponry wouldn't do diddly dick against void shields. Not a god fucking thing. Because void shields literally take the energy of the weapon and move it into the warp. Like they can take lance battery fire and move it into the warp. On the other hand, you then got to ask the question, okay, well, how does a lance battery compare to the Star Wars weaponry and so on? Oh, geez, it would be a nightmare.
Oh god. See, Arch and I have done this. We've done preliminary work. And it's not something that can be discussed in an hour. It's not something that can be discussed in 30 minutes or anything like that. Like, the whole video would be like a fucking series establishing the ground rules. Because then you have to talk about the Force. What kind of Force are you adhering to? The warp. How does the warp interact? Does it affect them? You know, can they use this on them? Because the thing is, each universe adheres to a different rules of, like, everything. They have different magic systems and they have different physics, literally.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Like, it would be a massive undertaking, and we should do it because it would be incredibly disappointing.
It'd be an
Simply
interdimensional.
because we'd spend weeks, months going over this, and then we'd release it, and it would get like 10,000 views because that's how the universe functions. It's just actually how the universe functions.
Listen, let's be really lazy about this, okay? We can be a talent. Let's switch to talentless hack mode, okay? Better idea. This is giving me morale and hope for humanity again. Talentless hack mode. All we do is we have Darth Vader versus the Emperor, and then we'll make a clickbaity thumbnail and then we'll be like, Darth Vader, he uses his force powers, but the Emperor uses his fart powers, and then that'll be enough to get enough clicks. It'll be great. We don't need to explain how these two things interact and what rules they're adhering to. We just need to pump it out, have clickbaity art with high-end art with Vader dueling the Emperor, really cringy shit, and then ship it, and bam, billions of views. I did it. I saved YouTube. And I provided more local content.
This will have to become like a Patreon tier, okay? If I can get, we'll be generous. $3,000 a month on Patreon. Then we'll begin work on this. And the moment it dips beneath it, all work ceases.
Oh my god.
With a little bit of luck, this could be milked for many years to come.
Oh, I know what you're doing. You're doing the spoony thing. I just realized.
Yes. It'll be a full spoony experiment video.
See, oh god. You know how much work we'd have to put into it, like a proper thing? Oh my god, that's not even funny to think about.
It would be an actual bit of a nightmare. Because yeah, sure, you could slap a video like this together. It probably only take a few hours, but there are so many things you need to quantify, and so many things you need to qualify, and so many things you need to get into. And so many things you're going to have to disregard as just retarded. Like the AT-ST having a carrying capacity of 500 metric tons.
Yep, and the thing is... See, the dumb thing is, like, you look at this stuff, right? Because we did, too. We looked at this shit. And the thing is, you're like, that's physically not possible. But the thing is, the canon says it. So I guess that's what it is. It's the same thing like the Rebel transport ship being like it only has 60 passengers. But we know for a fact that they loaded more people into it because they evacuated people from Hoth Echo Base. So it's literally impossible that they only carried like 20 people. They just left the entire army behind. They didn't do that. Like the writers are just stupid.
Yes. There are many, 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 many things.
Oh, the Hoth video. That was such a pain in the ass, especially with the transports. I just remember when we were working on that. The transports were the most annoying thing.
The transports were dumb. Ugh. Anyhow, before we get completely buried, Stormhound Sync says, I'm really happy that the new game Petroglyph is working on is a new Star Wars Empire at War. Allegedly. Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah,
Don't get your
we
hopes up.
only know this. We know that Petroglyph stopped working on the current games because they said that they even said in announcements to let people know that we're pausing production on these things because we have a new publisher. They said a new publisher. They didn't say who. Then they said they were going to be working on a new project that was much bigger and they needed to put all their resources together. So it could be a new CNC remaster, it could be a new CNC altogether under EA, or it could not be any of those and it could actually be a new Star Wars Empire at War. Or it could be something completely different. We don't know.
Yes. It could be something.
Either way, I kind of like all of
personally-
those options, but yeah.
I would think Command Conquer, because if it was Star Wars, then there's the whole question of licensing and stuff on top of everything else, which I believe would have been more difficult to hide. Basically, like if EA had gotten the Star Wars license, I think we would have known.
I think they still have it. I think. No? I don't know. Chat might know.
Eh,
But
I thought they had it just for like the Jedi or something.
I don't remember.
I don't freaking know.
I mean, if we get a new CNC remaster and it's Tiberian Sun plus Firestorm and Red Alert 2 plus Series Revenge, like, I'd be very happy.
That's what I'm hoping for. Like, I want to see Red Alert 2 remastered, because that is still one of my favorite RDSs, and it's so good. And then they need to make a continuation. Just pretend that CNC 3 never happened,
And start over.
then make CNC 3.
Yeah, do basically a reboot in the middle of that. Yeah, you know what? I'm alright with that. I'd sign up for that.
It'd be great. It'd be great. It would, it would. Let us see here. Lucifer the Doberman says, Arch, since the lockdown we have been stuck at home with outside fun. Without outside fun. Okay, yes, without outside fun. That sentence makes more sense. You have made us buy minis to paint. Thank you. We love you. Have I? I have not done my job well. I should have stopped people from buying miniatures. To be fair, as I've been keeping saying, like, asking anyone to boycott the entirety of 40k hobby is pointless, because it's not going to happen. Definitely not on such short notice. Just don't get Warhammer Plus, because that is currently their Achilles heel. And considering their current numbers, that seems to be working quite well. A Cathulian Ethan? Cathu... I need to introduce like a set of rules as like, name must be something Arch can reasonably pronounce. Says, geologist, spies, pioneers, transporters, unit upgrades, road upgrade magic, kind of return to Settlers 2-3. It's Ubi cautiously optimistic, no pre-order. That is always the best way to go about it, yes. Cautious optimism. And the absence of a pre-order. Pre-orders are evil, and you should avoid them. There's a reason why companies will do so many scummy things to try and get you to pre-order, because for them, a pre-order is not only money in the pocket, it's actually better than that. A pre-order is worth more than the $60 you put down, because they can then go to the investors and say, hey, look how much money we've already got. This is already a success. And then those investors will give them millions more. This is an important thing to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus James says, Bread Navi. I mean, kids. See, if anyone with autistic inclinations is listening, this is an excellent opportunity to start making Kibs art, but
No.
as a blue alien person.
No. Definitely no. Giggles better not be here. Giggles is sleeping.
You can hear how much he objects and how much he would therefore love to see this. Because imagine the fetishization, because the Navi are like a mix between all the fetishes, a little bit of furrydom, a little bit of scalydom.
No.
A little bit of transdom as well, because they're humans and then they become these monstrosities. Yeah.
You mean abominations, but monstrosity's close enough.
Brother Doob says, an Avatar MMO? Oh boy, now everyone can be Blue Kitty Man. I can't wait not to play it. I'll say this, though. I'll say this in the MMO's defense, right? Because up until this point, people in poor, innocent communities, like the World of Warships, the World of Warcraft community, right? They have had to deal with people in their video games ERPing rather stridently, one might even say. Obviously, many ooh-oohs in chat and so on. But with the launch of Avatar Online, they'll all move over to ooh-wooing at one another over there.
What? I heard a wooing. I mildly zoomed out because you're saying cringy things. And then I heard you say ooh-wooing, and I'm just going like, do we need to beat Arch? Actually, no, wait. Let me rephrase that. How much do we need to beat Arch? There we go. That's better.
It'll be great. Yes, the chat for the Avatar game will be almost nothing but ooh nuzzles up to you.
Oh, God. No, I'm getting a drink.
Nuzzles fairies. But they'll move on from all of the other video games. It'll be great. It'll be great. It'll be like Second Life, except more intentionally pervy. God, the more I think about this, the more I think this is a brilliant idea.
I don't think you think that. I think you think you're thinking something else. I think you don't like this.
I don't know, Kyle.
I'm back. Oh, chatty wooing. No.
Broad and welcoming kind of person who is willing to accept these things into the internet.
See, they're like nuzzles, but like they're like they secretly like it. Oh my god, we haven't even gotten to the G4 part yet. Christ, this is gonna be one hell of a stream.
To be fair, we smashed through the Battlefield one a little bit out of order, so it's not that bad.
That's fair. It's a bit of a mess, but we'll get there.
It's actually fine. Oh god, the urge to go like, oh no, I have such an urge now to really get into the RPing part that to me really makes me cringe out.
Why though? Why would you?
Fine, senpai nuzzles.
Senpai nuzzles. He's mixing his weebery into this fetish. It's a hybrid, chat. A hybrid, I tell you. Oh god, whinies? What the fuck? Stop. Chat, no. The only one who's allowed to be cringe here is me. Get out of here. My job has been stolen.
Kyle's role has been culturally appropriated.
It has been.
C. Jewel from the chat says, "Oh, nuzzles, Kibs. Are you ready for breeding?" We have cultivated a good following, we have. I like you people. You can stay.
He says that now. Until the purge.
Hey, as long as they're not nuzzling me.
They will. After I'm dead and gone, you'll be next. He just wheezes.
Sir John says multi-platform bannings would be enforced by the... oh, Jesus. YouTube, stop. Oh, goddamn, where did it go? There we go, yes. Multi-platform bannings would be enforced by the EULA, which is legally enforceable outside of the US. No company wants to see the EULA in court. Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. I was thinking about that too. That yes, that would be the way they would do it. If Phil Spencer could get all of the other companies to agree to the exact same EULA with the exact same clauses, then they could theoretically go like, okay, you've broken this EULA, which specifically says if you break it, this counts for all of the platforms, ergo you're banned. That would be how they would do it and could theoretically do it. But again, there is no way any court in the land would go like, so hold on, he didn't actually break these rules on these other sites. No. Right, so how do you justify banning him then? Yeah, no. It would not work. Mark DeShame says, Halo Infinite, decent game, horrible store and business model. Kyle,
That's a
you're the
lie.
Halo expert.
As the resident Halo master of, Halo, if you like anything beyond 3, you're a fucking heathen. And the fact that you like okay, Infinite's got some good multiplayer. It's actually kind of fun, tight gameplay, needs some balance work done to the guns and some other fixes badly, but and more game modes. But God, the story is forgettable. It's cringe, yeah, but the worst sin of all, I think, is the campaign. They charged me $60 for that campaign. I want my money back. Not only did it not include co-op, the story is about as bad, if not as worse than 4 and 5. And my God, who the hell thought boss battles would be a good idea in a Halo game? Good God, sponginess. I've never shot something in the head with a sniper rifle so many times. It's like, punk. I know it's like an 80 caliber sniper rifle and lower, it can blow up tanks and shit. But your skull? Wow, it's thick as fuck, dude. It's terrible. It's garbage.
Well, are you using it against a tank, Kyle? No? Well,
no.
Shut up then.
It's like skulls aren't tanks, Kip. Oh God, don't get me started on the tank controls.
How are the tank controls, Kyle?
Really bad. Really bad.
Are they worse than Call of Duty?
They're remarkably archaic. I haven't played Call of Duty. Which one you were talking about? Oh, I watched you stream that because you were recorded that because you were complaining about it, and you sent that to me. That was remarkable. That was confusing to watch. It's pretty bad.
That game made me mad. It made me very mad. And that's rare for such a balanced and ordered individual as myself.
See, people are like, boss battles don't
Twisted
belong in Halo
Frenzy?
2. And they're like, oh, but they're in Halo 2. Yeah, and they were shit there too. They were shit all the time. These things need to be ranted about. You don't understand. My pent-up rage from what they've done to the Halo franchise is too great for you. Oh, God.
Kyle's just not a very...
Don't even get me
individual.
started on the fucking lore. Oh, no. Keep going, Chad. Or Barch. Or we're going to be stuck here for hours.
Wow. I mean... Is that a bad thing?
So, you don't even know half the things I'll be complaining about.
No, I don't. Mr. Twisted Frenzy says, have you heard anything new on Baldur's Gate 3? Not a peep. Like, they're over there, they're doing their thing, they're making things. I'm not happy about it. I don't like the fact that they're an established studio now. Okay, they've got all the money in the world. They've got a backlog. They've made very successful games. I don't think they should be doing what they're currently doing. And I certainly don't think they should be launching their game in the state it's currently in without a discount. I just think it's coming. Like, oh, help, come beta test our game. Okay, will you give me a discount to doing it? No. Then why should I? It's disrespectful. Like, yes, I know. You choose to do it. I agree, but it's disrespectful. It's not about the practicality of it. It is about the ethics of it. Like, you're asking for help. You're asking for help, and you're asking for money. The decent hiccups. The decent thing is to give something in return. Oh well. Yes, Surjad brings up Tabletop Simulator. That's actually a wonderful point, because then we can talk a bit about that as well. Surjad says, Tabletop Simulator have given in to the Alphabet people. They gave 10k to the Suicide Squad Alphabet people, and to a transgender charity, to be specific. But Yes, so the Tabletop Simulator thing is one I am going to lead by saying there's a lot of confusion around what exactly has happened here and what has gone on and in what order, etc. So everything said here will be very much so speculative, just to clarify that immediately.
I have something for you in regards to this that was just sent to me. I'm not sure if it's an official response, though, but it is linked to them directly. Let's open it and take a sneak peek. Thank you, Chaos Marine, by the way. I mean, it's from an official developer. Inside Tabletop Simulator discussions. Ooh, looks like they've bent the knee, maybe.
Yes, they have. They apologized for it. They said that they would never do this again. You know, transphobic, blah blah blah, inclusive, blah blah blah. And then they gave $10,000 to the trans charity thing.
Oh my god, they're being laughed at already. They're being mocked. There's like 2 hearts on it. It's probably from 2 developers, if I had to guess. Oh my god.
Probably.
Well, they've managed to make an absolute fool of themselves. And fail in their own PR department. That's incredible. But not surprising.
That's the problem. All they're doing with this is pouring yet further fuel onto the fire. Because the SJWs aren't going to care. And everyone else at this point know what the SJWs are and what they do. They're just going to get a lot of blowback, as is evident here.
Yeah, honestly, that was a huge mistake on their part. The correct response was basically to simply just, no, like, don't, like, LGBTQ is a political organization. They're not, they're nothing else besides that. They're just like the Republican Party. They're just like the Nazi Party. They're the same thing. They're a political group, an extremist group, maybe. But the thing is, they don't, like, it's, like, that's all they are. What do they do besides, like, cause problems and trouble?
Not a whole lot.
And they masquerade using, gay people as a shield. Like, that's pretty sickening, honestly.
That is a large part of the problem. Now, what had happened here, too, to bring people a bit into the fold, was that a moderator had banned a person. The reason for banning this person was that they were bringing fetish talk into the general chat. That was the reason given. It then came out this was a LGBTQ, elemental P, presumably, person, and it all blew up. Like, gay isn't a fetish position, blah, 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 so on. And they apologized, and I think they removed the ban, and they have been backpedaling ever since. The problem is, it's very confused exactly what was said here, by whom, and how, and why, and when. I've seen some people claiming that this person was doing nothing more than saying, like, hey, I'm gay, and that was it. Like, I'm gay. That was it. In which case, yeah, no, that's not a fetish conversation or anything. I'm assuming it was brought on by something. Like, somebody asked him, like, hey, what are you? And he's like, I'm a homosexual. Fine. But on the completely opposite side of the spectrum, I have also seen people claiming that this person who was banned apparently had a long history of discussing not just, like, gay sex, but scat and bestiality in chat as well.
Oof. That's, and they're apologizing for this? They're apologizing for stopping this?
That's the thing which I want to reiterate again. I have not looked into this enough to verify any of this, because I've only seen, like, 6 or 7 different people with different reasons, and with screen caps too, talking about what this person was doing, supposedly, what they weren't doing. There's a lot of different narratives out there about this, and frankly, I don't care enough to look into all of it.
Me neither.
It's Tabletop Simulator bending the knee. Fuck Tabletop Simulator, who cares?
Yeah, true, honestly. Who does care? It's a shitty software that kind of sucks at what it does.
Yes, pretty much. It's stupid. And this is not going to earn them any friends. Like, the people they're trying to appease aren't going to like them any better for them giving 10k to a charity, because they could have given 10k to them.
Yeah.
The people that know this playbook aren't going to like them any better because they know exactly what's happening. It's a lose-lose scenario for Tabletop Simulator, and the only correct move was to literally say, we don't care. Move on.
Yep. It's dumb, and honestly, every corporation that bends the knee, honestly, people get sick of it. Most people are fed up with it, and they just laugh at them and mock them now. Anytime you have a company that stands down and, actually is like, you know what, I'm not going to bend the knee to basically terrorism. Like what we had with the Factorio developer. What happens? Massive, support. All sorts of people support the developer. They even try the game even if it wasn't for them. Like, yeah, you know what? I'll give it a shot because you know what? This guy's got balls, unlike the rest of these cunts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, we gave away a few copies of Factorio because of that too. Yeah. It was a
that's true. You gave away.
Yeah, that's right. Forgetful, weren't you, buddy? Yeah, I forgot.
I gave away more.
Actually, I think I did.
No.
Yeah.
I gave away like 10.
Okay, and then you did give away more than me. You win this time.
Suck it, whore.
That's only because you're rich.
No, that's because I contacted Deb. Because there was a limit on how many you could buy.
Fair enough, fair enough. You didn't use your wealth to flex on me this time.
But one of my mods in chat, ArchMegos, actually points out a very pertinent thing as well, namely that the chat which they were talking about all of this alleged fetishization, because that was the public all chat, which is all ages and non-restricted. So you don't want children in there, obviously, because they're going to speak about this shit. So I mean, I don't know. It's, again, assuming all the person said was like, I'm gay, then I don't see the problem of that being in an all ages chat. But assuming there was any discussion of any sexual act, then it's a justified ban.
I do have to ask, though, why are you telling people, I'm gay? Who cares? Do I go into chat and go, I'm a heterosexual? Nobody fucking cares.
Maybe we should begin.
If you're so lackluster as a person that your only personality trait is your sexuality, then you aren't worth the breath you draw.
But yes, that is that one. It's a lot of conflicting narratives and not a whole lot of clarity. There may have been sexual nonsense discussed. There may not have been. There may have been egregious sexual nonsense discussed in this all ages public channel. It is difficult to piece together. The Real Holznator says, well, if it isn't my two favorite YouTubers, Captain Kibbs and Captain Superior.
Captain Cucks is what it said. I remember because I was waiting to see what you changed it into.
Looking forward to Skaven RP.
He's like, I hate you, Kibbs. Suffer. Schaffer.
Nick Mattis says, bottom line keeps being publishers and investors ruin games because effing greed. Also, Archbad, Grumpy Archcat, good. Grumpy Archcat, good. Well, I'm sure we'll have a little bit of Grumpy Archcat tomorrow. Dev was late, so it's time to kill Dev. Dev will die. And the Real Holtznader says, remember to like and comment, which is always a smart thing to do, yes. Must like and comment, otherwise you will die one of these days. Well, you'll die regardless, frankly. It's pretty much just what happens, but it's probably because you didn't like and comment.
It's true. It's your punishment.
Now, Dragon Mage, actually that one's pertinent, we'll cover that one too before moving on. Dragon Mage says G4 has locked down their subreddit.
Nice.
And that's not particularly surprising because, of course, next up then, we'll talk about G4. So, Kyle, do you have the article, Kyle?
I'm going to get it. I'm sad that this is going to be in my search results because next thing I'm going to be It's gonna advertise. Want to go to? Oh God, that ugly fucking bitch. Though, look at her. Whoa.
Cruel, Kyle. Cruel.
Look at
How
it
dare you
though.
say such things?
Hideous. I'm telling you.
Cruel.
Look. That is hideous. Look at it. Look at it. What is it? What is it?
Cruel.
Is it supposed to be female or male?
Cruel.
I can't tell.
I disavow you.
I think it's female, maybe. But I'm not sure.
No. For those of whom of you are fetuses, like Kyle, who are babies.
I know what
sperm cells,
G4 is. I remember being like 12 and watching, go like, oh, what's that? Half-Life looks pretty cool. Half-Life 2 specifically. And Unreal Tournament 2004. And I was like, that channel's cool. And then I forgot what the channel was. And I didn't care about it because of the speakers. It was specifically just because they had video games on it.
So, what is the thing here? This is the thing. So, first of all, this is from Kyle. Help me. Bounding into Comics.
Bounding into Comics.
Yes, which is a site we approve of.
Yeah.
And other people should approve of. It's a good site, and people should pet them when required.
Yeah, they should sponsor us though before we simp for them. You silly Willy. Don't you know how this works? 1 month for simp.
Bad person.
Look at you, just doing freebies.
And they're covering a recent little blowout from the host of G4. G4, back in the day, was a very... I want to say edgy, but frankly, they weren't even that edgy.
They were trying to be
Really,
like hip, if I remember right. I remember being a kid and going
because back then edgy was a very different thing. It was entirely normal. Like this was during the period of Jackass and stuff.
They were trying to be cool. Yeah.
Yes, this was just what was going on back then. It was just the thing. And they were doing that. They were doing skits. They were doing jokes. They were doing lots of sexual innuendo. You know, shit that would get you yeeted off the internet if you even thought about it today. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they were pretty popular at it. But the problem is, they were doing this as a full studio gig with lots of people. Lights, cameras, actions, all of this nonsense. Right? It was a big production. And then YouTube actually started getting success. And regular YouTubers started getting success. And regular YouTubers started doing that kind of content. And suddenly, it just wasn't financially, bearable anymore. Because they had a lot of people to pay. That a lot of bills, a lot of people, all of them asking for a cut.
They were
currently being...
Yes. They're being replaced by like people like Total Biscuit because if you remember right, Adam Sessler, as soon as Total Biscuit died, basically was celebrating by dressing up as he's like, look at my Total Biscuit cosplay as he dressed up as a dude, basically it plugged into life support.
Yes, that as well.
See, I like dark humor, but that's just too soon. Like that's just too much.
And I don't think that was intended as humor, frankly.
No, that wasn't even humor. That was petulance, jealousy, envy, and all sorts of other extremely dark things, honestly. Hatred.
But yes, G4 was rendered basically irrelevant because of the rise of just rando dude YouTubers who did what they were doing, but frequently better and for a hell of a lot less money.
And more frequently, too. They were pumping out more content, and there was less people developing it, too.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't that G4 was necessarily all that unpopular either. It was doing all right, but it wasn't doing all right enough to support a goddamn studio of people. And recently, it made a glorious return. It was going to sweep the internet by... making the content that made them irrelevant 10 years ago. Today. All right. Seems like a mighty flawed business strategy, but if you insist, I guess. But the problem was, that wasn't even what they were going to do. They were just going to be another retarded review site. That was it. They were going to be some kind of retarded review site that was going to start taking themselves way too seriously. And this chick that you can see here, the Karen in all but name, had a massive blowout against the handful of fans that the show had, calling them all sexist and bastards and perverts and bad people and blah 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 blah. Because that's a good way to get your network off the ground, attacking the handful of viewers you do have. There's a lesson in here for you too, by the way, Kyle.
There isn't, though.
There is might be, though. And she became a massive meme because she was acting like such a tough person too. And you can tell, you can watch the other co-host egging her on, like, yes, speak, woman, the blowout will be on you, not me.
Yeah,
literally clapping.
Did you see the guy with the beard just like looking at her like, oh shit, like, not again.
So, you ruin your career. I'm not involved in this.
He's like, he's immediately planning his exit. He's like, all right, he's gonna go to the CEO. I don't know, man. Like, please, just, I've got a wife and kids.
Like, look, she might not have a family to feed, but I do. So please,
so please, think of the children.
Oh, think of the children. The poor, poor children.
Yeah, this washed up hack, though. It was quite funny to watch, though. It was a little too cringe, so I had to stop it and then go play a video game and do something else.
I couldn't suffer through more than a few seconds. I was watching Razorfist talk about this too, and I was just like, I couldn't even watch the Razorfist video.
I haven't even seen his.
It was the first Razorfist video I have quit halfway through. Because it was so cringe. Like, just no, done now.
It's one of those things where it's like, I'm not even gonna play it. Because honestly, like, you can go look it up. It's so cringe that I think we'll just lose viewership.
It's painful. Like, it hurts. It actually physically hurts.
It's bad. And for those who have seen it, I'm sorry.
I am too. I'm sorry. Yes, it couldn't have been easy.
If you made it through it, though, kudos. I couldn't finish it because I was like, I've heard this before, but it's like one of those things where it's like, you can see the vitriol hatred in her eyes. Like, look at that. She's hating every minute of what her job is. She hates everyone around her. She hates doing this. She hates you. Like, it's just,
Part of it all, too, is it's not even original. Like, if she had a full-on thunder speech about something current, I'd be like, okay, that's dumb. This is a video game show. But no, I did a video recently where I was looking at a article and how feminism is just dead these days. It's been completely supplanted by intersectionality. And this chick is in the same boat. She's sitting there in 2016, it feels like, being like, so dude bros, I've discovered this radical new idea called feminism. Let me tell you about it. I'm like, oh, go away.
Yep.
And it went over about as well as you could expect. Oh, and just kind of here, I'll give you a small mercy. I'll give you something else to put up on screen, okay?
Yeah, I was staring deeply into her teeth, and her teeth bother me.
I'll give you something else here. Because she had a whole screen where she was like, okay, the only reason I'm not popular, okay, is because I'm not as bangable as the previous host.
I mean...
so this, Kyle, is the previous host. I would like you to put this up on screen instead. Because you know what, Kyle?
She looks familiar.
She's bloody right. The Karen in all but name is correct. She's 100% accurate. She's nowhere near as bangable as Olivia Munn.
Well, she's pretty. But
yes,
I must be honest though, like she's that jealous though. She's lashing out this girl. Like, Jesus.
It's sad.
That's pathetic. But funny.
And she had a whole screen too where it's like, we all work from the same scripts, guys. Like, we're basically just puppets over here. We have no will or initiative or any thoughts of our own. We read scripts. And yet you hate me more than the other people who read the same script? Yes, because you're insufferable. Your personality is insufferable. Your appearance is insufferable. Holy shit. I mean, woman, you look like Karen. You look like an actual Karen, and you look like you've received a bit of buckshot to your face. That is your most distinguishing feature, is the fact that you decided to look like a cow. Just No,
I
you are
think
no Olivia Munn.
I don't know about you personally, but personality wise, like if I see somebody like if I look at anybody and I just see their personality and it's like that lady's, like it doesn't matter what they look like, all of a sudden they look like a used rag to me. Like that's just like you can smell like a rancid odor coming from it. It's like, ooh, what is that dead thing? Quite
No,
cringe.
Olivia Munn was better. There's very little question about this in my esteemed mind, frankly. And now G4 is failing miserably. Kyle, would you like to find a G4 on YouTube?
Can
Would
I?
you like to have that in your recommendeds now?
Do I want to?
Because I ain't searching for it.
For the good of humanity. Chat gives me lots of money on my channel, so only hold it up. It's in my recommended. G4 has 494,000 subscribers. Damn, I
There you
saw
go,
my
right?
channel for a second.
Now,
Who's
now
that
look
guy?
at their viewership per video.
Oof. Yikes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dead channel. For that size, yes. Like, when you look at a channel, like, if you have like a couple thousand subs and you get 1,000 views, you're doing pretty good. If you have nearly 500,000 subscribers and you get under 100,000 views, that you're starting to fail. We're getting close to the single thousands. I guess 20,000, 30,000. It's like it's limping. Oh my god, never mind, we're in the single thousands. I didn't see that one over there. It's over. They're dead. You died.
Yes.
You're gone.
The G4 channel
You're gone.
is performing worse than this channel is. Like, that's what we're looking at here. And hey, here's the thing too, right? This channel is doing pretty well for me. You know, one person doing this. Oh, and the Leech Kibbs, who sits over there just grasping at my money, of course, but he doesn't really count that much.
Gibbs. Gibbs to Gibbs. What?
So this is fine for me, but G4 it's a bloody network. How many people do they have on payroll? Like, they've got at least 3 or 4 talking heads, right? Who need their scripts written for them in addition to editors. And they're getting views like this. Like, yeah, no, this doesn't live long.
Yeah, we're a 2-man team. We have Disco helping as a third whammin', you know, with the code and stuff. I handle the streaming stuff and, you know, get the stream overlay with the text working because I plug it in every time. And Barge hits the stream key button. And that's it, you know, and that's the team. This is like 80 or what, 30 maybe at lowest 20 people. And this is the best they can do. Get the fuck out. Get out of YouTube. You're an embarrassment.
There.
You don't belong here. You're not equal to us. we're literally superior.
Literally. Not figuratively, literally. It is just sad. It is just sad. And what makes it more sad too is that G4 was kind of cool at one point. Yeah, they were far too large a production for what they could pull off, but you know, they were cool. They were making some cool content. They were making some stuff. They were having a bit of fun. Like, okay, fair enough. And then they became this, and now they're not having fun anymore. They're not enjoying themselves. They hate their goddamn audience to the point where they yell at them. And it's just sad. It's just sad.
It's over for them. Like, they're dead on launch. And if their big premiere happened, when did it really happen? What was the big premiere of them coming back? Or have they been running this whole time?
No, this was fairly recently that they came back, quote unquote.
My god, is that Adam Sessler? I hope not. Ooh, I thought he died. Just kind of hoping. Ooh, the guy looks really old and scary looking.
Why must you be so racist, Kyle?
Because Adam Sessler is a potato. And it would be funny if he died. Because it would be ironic, wouldn't it? I'm not
He's
wrong.
not. You're not necessarily correct in that he is a potato.
I just like the dark
I think
irony
so.
in that. When you celebrate someone's death, I think it's just funny, you know? If that happens to you. In the same vein that Total Biscuit was like, I hope you get ass cancer. And then he gets ass cancer. And it's like, there's a certain level of irony there.
There's a certain level of irony there, yes.
I personally
As
hope
a
nobody
fan
gets
of Total
cancer.
Biscuit, I can say that there was a certain level of irony in that.
Like,
Difficult to deny.
there's irony in that. It's regrettable that he passed away, and I wish he had survived, and because his family. But the same thing is like, these people are terrible. These people celebrate people's death. Like, they're not good people.
I disavow everything Kyle says, by the way.
You know,
Just to stay on the
maybe
safe
maybe
side.
them floating up to the heavens is not that they'll go there. Not that I believe in heaven. Maybe that would be for the best. I mean, their channel's certainly doing a good job of doing that. It looks dead.
It's going to heaven ahead of them.
It is.
And with their Reddit lockdown too now, like any hope they had of getting reestablished is probably dead. I mean, if I was in the position of G4 right now, the only thing I could think of would be to yeet almost everyone, including
Apologize.
Blonde Bitch, definitely, and then start over with one or two core talents, and then just hope and pray that my bank somehow allowed me to continue, because they must have some kind of seed money, I'm assuming, some kind of investor, and that YouTube doesn't kick me out of their studio. That's about it.
I kind of think that the only way to, like you said, fire everyone involved needs to be fired. They need to disavow them. They need to disown them. They need to condemn them. Like they do to every one of us. Anytime anyone like us would get in trouble, they need to basically be like, "Oh, I hope they burn in hell." The usual spiel. And we didn't know they were basically Nazis, but they're gone now. We're better. See,
They would even get some positive PR from that. Hell, if they fired her and made a big deal about it,
yeah,
they'd
celebrate
probably see a lot more views.
Yeah, no, not just fire her, but fire her and celebrate it. Be like, yes, ding dong, the wicked witch is dead, and play that in the background. That's too dark? Okay, fine, fair enough. Archie,
Kyle must be disavowed, and will be disavowed.
I'm feeling like
Repeatedly,
I need more dark
viscerally.
humor today. We need to go darker. He doesn't want to.
G4.
Maybe next time.
Right. More super chats. Long Reach Jones says, throwback for the settlers thing. The vaguely native faction look like a mishmash of Indonesian and Thai tribes. The spear is likely the Ingano tribe. The Ingano tribe.
The Indochina region? That'd be interesting. We don't get a lot of Indo-Chinese. And they're not called Indochina, but Indonesia. Indochina is because China claims it as theirs. Like, mine. But it's not. China likes to call everything China. It's weird. Like Manchuria. Manchuria's not China. That's weird.
If you say so. Weird boy.
I'm a weird boy now?
Yes.
Oh, mate, I got me teeth in me oak. Gonna do a weird boy spell and poop on you.
Black 1917 says G4 was run by people who viewed their audience as less than human. The only thing anyone ever remembers about Avatar is the assault on the tree towards the end of the bestiality. I feel like the only thing people remember about it, like Avatar was like a bad isekai, where the dude who's crippled finds a magic way to make himself into a attractive blue furry, and then he meets the mildly sassy yet also, I guess, supposedly attractive cat girl and goes, oh, 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 and then he goes from there. That's how I view things.
Arch has Arch, if you want to call it, like looking at life through the Arch lens, and as you put it on, like, wow, everything's just kind of retarded all of a sudden.
Everything suddenly makes sense. Weird.
Everything's confusing and doesn't make any sense. Gravity doesn't work the way it should. Why didn't
I do this sooner? The world is suddenly a better place.
Look at Arch trying to spin this. He's like, no, it's good. Trust me.
Everything is beautiful and makes sense.
Good little Draconis. Look at him. He says, no, the name Indochina didn't come from China. Indochina refers to the entire region, as well as Indonesia refers to a country. But we should call it Indonesia
Kyle,
instead.
you dumbass.
It's like a little baby China. You're like, Kib, you just said no. Listen, we should look through the things through the Kib's lens. Yes. This is good stuff.
Kyle, you've just insulted an entire region full of people.
I give people
And
from
the
that
chat is calling
region
you out
work.
for it.
I give people from that region work. Therefore, I can do what I want. True. Fact you.
Kyle rapidly adopts the democratic position on this.
That's true. You know what? So be it. If that's how we must play, then that's how we're going to play. I give them money.
I did see a lovely thing a while ago, which I don't know if it was a joke. I kind of hope it maybe was a joke, where there was an article heading saying, you could own your own immigrant. I'm like, oh, okay.
I would like to purchase my own immigrant. Thank you very much. I'll call him Jeff. This is my Jeff.
How would owning your own immigrant work? Well, you could make him do jobs for you. Aha.
Oh, it's like a slave. And like, nice.
Well, yes, I believe that was kind of the... I don't think that was the idea they were going for, but in reality, yes. Yes, more or less. You know, more I think about it, maybe slavery wasn't that bad.
Can you believe this, chat? Cancel Barch. Cancel Barch now. Don't cancel Kibs. That's
maybe
racist.
The Democrat platform did have some...
I'm feeling very blue all of a sudden. Boo. Switches political parties just so I can have slaves.
Maybe.
Just so I can...
Martin James says Chicago pizza is better than New York pizza.
Did he say white? What? What did he say?
Chicago pizza is better than New York pizza.
He's right.
Well, there you go.
Chicago does have nice little hot dog stands.
If you say so.
I had a hot dog from one of those hot dog stands. It was nice. It was refreshing. It was also very long.
Rhett says that Kibs, your mic is too hot and excited. Arch is quiet. Kyle, did you fuck up the sounds again?
I don't think so. Speak again.
Kyle, did you fuck up the sound again?
No, your audio levels are at the same as mine.
Okay, I'll increase them above you.
Equality, no. Look at those New
You're
York Sims.
squeakier and louder by nature.
Wow. It's true because I'm more dominant. I dominate Barch. There's becoming in the other server, not Arch's server. They've yet to realize this, but in our server where we hang out, like people have started to come to the conclusion like Arch is quite submissive. He's kind of breedable, and they're starting to be like realize that Barch is a sub, and Barch is trying to resist this, but it's too late. It's already getting traction. There's already one loot art of this. You can't win. I have the fan art ground.
Beyond making fantasy noises, have you turned me up yet?
You're loud. Speak again.
I am loud, and I should be.
Chant, you're deaf. He's completely...
There you go. George says, just have the Adeptus Mechanicus and the Firehawks hurl a piece of the sun at the Death Star in an Electric Boogaloo 2 scenario. Problem solved. The problem is, the Death Star can move. The planet couldn't. Dark Innovator says, in the context of my previous super chat, the Warhammer vs. Star Wars is set during the Clone Wars period. It's pre-Death Star. Ah, that opens up a whole other goddamn can of worms, though, because then you've got to think about the Republic at the height of its power. What was its power? Because honestly, in that case, it should be a goddamn walkover, because the Republican army was pathetic. And it couldn't even win against the droids without constant intervention from Palpatine and Dooku.
Planetary.
I mean, that's not a very balanced... See, that's a... Meh. I don't know if I like that.
It's hard to work with. If you want to talk about the height of the Republic, you'd probably have to go to the Old Republic era, and that's where
And then you
things
got to
get
deal with
silly.
force powers.
Yeah, you're not gonna deal with force powers. There's also the MacGuffin ship from Eternal Empire. Oh my god, it's like the Death Star, except it fires one shot and it blows up an entire armada. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's so special. Then there's the Infinite Fleet, which is an infinite fleet. Then don't get me started. Don't remember the original Knights of the Old Republic. Then there's the what do you call it? The Eternal Empires, not the Eternal Empire, the Ratakan Empire, or whatever. Built the Rakata Empire. They built this. The Forge, the Star Forge. It prints fleets like they're candy. It's like a 3D printer, but for fleets.
Yep.
They have absurd weapons and technology in Star Wars. The Old Republic, what's weird is the Old Republic era has more advanced technology in some ways. It's absolutely backwards.
There's a lot of dumb in Star Wars, tragically. A lot of dumb.
It's a fun universe, but if you start trying to be like, oh, let's think about this practically, then you're just going to be like, oh, my brain.
Your brain, indeed. Luckily, it'll mostly be Kyle who has to deal with this. And Bubbles, I guess.
What? You want to breed Bubs? Actually, no. Sorry. The art we have is actually Bubs x Barch. This is good. Bubs and Barch are two Norwegians in our friend group. And they court each other every time. They're like, hee hee hee. And they're like, ha ha ha, Spiegeling Durgan. Because, they speak their little derpy language. They flirt with each other.
You are bred.
Look at that. It's hurts because it's like right on the head. He's like, I only want to romance him a little bit. Don't lie to me. Your
I
love.
repeat my accusation. You are bred.
Bubs x Barch. This is a thing.
Bipedal Species says, what do you think of the Eve and Doctor Who crossover?
Eve.
I don't care.
Oh, Eve. Oh my god. Eve. Okay. Eve Online is basically dead. Like, I've got a lot of friends who like Eve and they still play it, but I've not been hearing good things ever since I forget what they're required by, but aren't they basically owned by the communist government now? Like, they're making them do these weird crossovers, and a lot of people are just like, what the hell? I don't think EVE Online's gonna last forever, guys. I think EVE Online's days are numbered. Could be wrong, though. It has survived quite a long time.
The Eve crossover is very weird. There's not a whole lot of doubt about that. It is rather strange that exists and that it is allowed to exist. But, I mean, Eve's been going for a very long time now. I guess it's time for it to die.
Time to go out back, Eve. You had a good run. It's like, no.
Meanwhile, World of Warcraft will still just sit there in the distance.
And print money.
Existing.
Somehow.
Never dying, never ending, never going away.
There's gonna come a
It's
point
just there
one
now.
day where World of Warcraft will be hurting. One of these days, World of Warcraft will die. But it's not. I don't know if it'll be in our
It's
lifetime.
when World of Warcraft 2 releases, yes. Just correct.
Oh my fuck. No matter all the crap that comes from Activision Blizzard, all this stuff, all the bad, the expansion sucking for the billionth time, and somehow it's still printing money. It just doesn't care. It just won't die.
It just won't die.
It's true. It's ridiculous.
It's alive and it will remain alive for perpetuity.
Oh no. Sorry, I just read some.
Viking Kiwi has found himself a new favorite VTuber, judging by his icon there, I see, and says, make Star Wars versus Warhammer Death Battle. Star Wars versus Warhammer Death Battle. Death Battle, that was another series. It's still going on, and I don't know why.
That sounds really dumb.
It's quite cringe, but it can also be kawaii.
It's a
But
death
it's mostly quite
battle.
cringe.
Okay. Just from surface level. Like, it could be amazing, but it sounds stupid.
It has some cool shit. And to be fair, they do go into a lot of cool detail, which I do like, but they are also rather cringe.
I don't know if I believe you. I think this might just be garbage. Anytime any of these, that's the problem with comparing universes. Everybody doesn't do it right, and they all suck at it, and it's cringe every time.
Sure.
And I'm just of the opinion that it's just do something else. Be more creative. It's about being. It's like being a potato. Yeah, sure, we'll get 1 billion clicks from it because people are potatoes and they'll click on things like that. Oh my god. My god. If there's anything that makes me more depressed, it's that crap. Birch knows this. That's why he hurts me.
Kyle's prize is a cheap price to pay for 1 billion clicks. I agree.
See what I have to deal with? He's like, but it will get clicks, and it will. That's the problem.
Sujad says, Star Wars space naval weapons have garbage range. The Imperium's weapons outrange Star Wars crap and bombards the Death Star with their planet cracker weapons. Except the Death Star was able to fire a laser powerful enough to destroy a fucking planet from way, way, way out in orbit. Somehow I suspect they're not going to outrange that.
Yeah.
And they fire stuff like cyclonic torpedoes at them, which would take a very long time to reach the Death Star. Marcus Shame says, I would like a Warhammer 40k Empire at War game, but given GW's recent shenanigans, now is not the time. See, that's another argument as well. Like, would you want 40k to give you anything right now? Well. Will you have a choice? Another important question. And no is the answer, by the way. Davis Aurelian gives $20 with message retracted. So maybe that was something spicy, something terrible, something criminal even.
Perhaps. Maybe even terroristic.
Terroristic. Well, he gave me $20, so he can't be that bad of a tyrant. Or terrorist, or whatever he is.
Inshallah, yes.
Inshallah. Like 1917 says, 2 technologies from Star Wars would change the balance of power in 40k irreversibly in the Imperium's favor. The HoloNet, which would be longer and wider than in Star Wars, and hyperdrives, no more warp travel and more reliable. See,
the Imperium wouldn't adapt
that's
those,
the other
though.
thing too. Like, you've got to establish what they can and can't do. Like, if you start thinking about it, how they could adapt each other's technology, Jesus,
but
it
would
never
they?
ends at that point, does it?
Because the one thing I would see being a problem is the Imperium. The Imperium is slow when it comes to adapting technology. They're very...
They would have to reverse engineer that nonsense for a few hundred years first.
And it's also invented by aliens. It's gonna take a while. Oh, God. I don't want to think about it.
Old Boy Aladdin says, what's up, Arch? Check it. You get to produce a 40k movie, the Astra Militarum, you mean the Imperial Guard, and protagonist a commissar, but these are the only available actors. Denzel Washington, Russell Crowe, Hugh Jackman, or Idris Elba. Idris Elba. I don't even need to think about that one. Idris Elba. Easy. Simple. Facile, even.
True.
Kyle, you're being boring again. Bad cop.
If I do anything crazy, we'll be here forever. Do you want to be here forever? I can make that happen.
See, it's a movie actor discussion. You're supposed to have an opinion. I pay you too much.
Specifically, Mark Hamill is a potato. I think we can all agree on this.
Mark Hamill? I don't think even he was mentioned, but...
he isn't, but I'm mentioning it.
I thank you for your...
I've contributed to the conversation. I have done the bare minimum. I get my participation ribbon. That's good enough.
Now, Denzel Washington's kawaii and all, don't get me wrong, but he's not a commissar. He's too soft. Honestly, I didn't like Denzel Washington in The Equalizer. I didn't like that. Like, he didn't do a bad job, don't get me wrong, but... I don't know, he has a baby face to me. Like, he could play a psychopath, sure, because he's got that kind of... When he relaxes his face and just stares, he looks like he has some dark fucking thoughts in his head. But not as a commissar. That wouldn't work. That would not work. No. Nein. Nicht. Bestimmt nein.
Honestly, I think if you want a 40K movie, you shouldn't want big name actors. Waste of fucking money. Instead, let's be smart about this. Let's
Yeah,
make
but
it.
this is a hypothetical.
Yeah, but
Carl.
let's be hypothetical here. If we're being hypothetical,
Carl.
why don't we get the Dream 40K movie? Let's make something like Dawn of War 1's trailer. Like,
That wasn't the super chat.
yeah, but this is hypothetical. I'm adding to this, okay? This is my opinion, and I'm adding my opinion to the mix of this soup, whether you want it or not. Doesn't matter if the potatoes belong in here or not. They're going in. My potatoes say that we should have a CGI Warhammer movie. That'd be way better. Live action would
you
look
want
cringe.
Avatar?
No. I don't want Avatar. I want a full CG movie.
Felonids.
What? How are these things connected? Arch, get out. We're done with you. This is my stream now.
Disgusting, Kyle.
Into the burst.
For Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe is too old now. Russell Crowe is just too old now. I'm sorry, Russell. You're a lovely lad, and you can still play the grizzled veteran, but you can't be a commissar. Russell Crowe wouldn't be able to scare anyone into line. Like, he'd threaten them, and they'd be like, "Is your arthritis acting up? I'm sorry. We'll calm down again." Like, no, doesn't work.
No live action. We're done with live action. I'm done with Hollywood. CG, underrated voice actors and actresses that never got a shot. Let's go. You're welcome.
Now, Hugh Jackman could work. I'm not saying he couldn't, but Hugh too is a pinch too feminine. All right, he's a pinch too feminine. He's been doing a lot of videos recently where he's been behaving very femininely. Okay. He's been acting in too many fucking musicals, okay? I'm not even saying he's been doing a bad job, okay? But they're musicals. And that's coming from somebody who actually likes watching musicals. But no, that doesn't work either. It has to be Idris Elba. Kyle, do not argue with me on this one.
You need to drop these AAA Hollywood actors right this instant.
To be fair, Idris is more like a B-lister, honestly.
They're still overpriced. You can find cheaper voice actors and actresses that could pull off their roles way better. True.
Yeah, but he's Idris Elba, though.
That's not going to help you.
But it is, though.
The only acceptable one is James Earl Jones.
No.
You're welcome. James Earl Jones is the Emperor. I've done voice work. There. Bam. Golden. You're welcome.
No.
Well,
all right. We have answered this question. It is Idris Elba.
It isn't.
Now then, let's do some of the Streamlabs one before I forget it. Black917 says, Swek and Hail Archcast, our Lord and Savior, sound and widen Gibbs for his lateness. Good. Gibbs deserves no human rights.
I have many rights. That's true.
More than you deserve. This is unfortunately correct, I guess. Lord Christopho says, remember to breed Gibbs and pinch his cheeks. Pinching his cheeks on top of everything seems almost a pinch mean, but if you insist. He does have very bad opinions about who should play a commissar, so it might not be as egregious as it first sounds.
Bargeman bad.
Dark Resurrected says, the Empire and the Imperium aren't that different. Both hate the Xeno and are humanity-centric. Both
that's
want
true.
a galaxy of peace for humanity. Both do evil things for the benefit of humanity. Honestly, they would just merge and murder all the Xenos. I think there would be some very tense diplomatic conversations for a while, though.
There would be.
Very tense diplomatic
But I
conversations.
think they'd agree. They'd be like, wait, you hate aliens too? And they'd be like, yes. And they'll be like looking at each other, you know, as two star-crossed lovers from the table. They'd be like, yeah, I do like one. We do want to genocide them. It's like, you do too? It's like,
They may be able to set aside some of their differences until all of the aliens are wiped out.
Especially if you include the Yusong Vong lore. If the Empire were to tell the Imperium about it. Either way, if the Empire told the Imperium about that, the Imperium would be like...
Speak them correctly.
No.
Usopp
No, get out.
Usopp
That's not how it's pronounced, Steven.
That is how it's pronounced.
No, it isn't.
Across the galaxies.
It's dumb. And I still think they're dumb too. Like, I'm pretty sure that's actually a good point. I think the Empire and the Imperium would have the best chance for a tenuous alliance. Yeah, it would be tenuous, but it would be an alliance. That's a more likely outcome.
Usa Pion Pion.
I like the idea of both forces merging together. It would be autistic and broken, honestly.
He's trying to ignore me now, but Usa Pion Pion is the truth and the future and the faith and the goodness. Because they jump galaxies, therefore they Pion Pion. And their name is Usang Bong, therefore Usa Pion Pion. It's perfect. Chat agrees with me.
We need a lore video with, like, fucking guardsmen and fucking stormtroopers side by side massacring Gungans.
Bro fisting in the background.
Two bro fisting, you know, over a bunch of dead Gungan corpses.
No, Dan Tart is too fond of drawing Gungans now.
That's true. I have heard that.
Star Wars would totally win against the water mode with hyperspace ram spam.
Oh no, that's true. That's cringe, though.
Thousands of ships at speed faster than light, hitting things would destroy practically anything. That is also true.
That's so
See,
dumb.
that's another one of those things you need to debate. Like, okay, what about the recent movies?
Yeah, that's
The thing
true.
is, it would be a very brief debate because I'd raise that question and everyone in the room would just go like, /ignore.
You know what we should do? As a parody, we should acknowledge them. Because what's dumb is the stupid 3.0 Death Star, where its beam not only is visible from light years away, right? From thousands of light years away, but you can see it split as it blows up other planets.
See, I do like the new Death Star because the previous Death Star was so large, it basically bankrupted the Empire.
They built
to build two of them. And that was too much. Like, that basically bankrupted them. That was when they were in control of the entire galaxy. And so the First Order, now being in control of a TGI Fridays at best, decided, hey, let's do that, but quadruple the size.
And let's just build it into a planet rather than building something completely new. Which is faster, honestly.
I don't know. Like, yes, it would be easier to not build it in orbit due to not needing orbital infrastructure, but the sheer size of the thing, I still feels like would be a pretty hefty impediment.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm not arguing with this because these are doomsday weapons, which are absurd already.
Then again, it did wipe out the New Republic, which we knew nothing about. Like, it exists! Oh, damn, it's gone.
Oh, reset. See, you know what I hate the most is when I saw episode 7, there were people like, yeah, this is good. And then I'm like, after I left the theater, I was like, this is the beginning of the end.
Wow.
And
correct, as it turned out.
oh my god, so many people, and they still like retrospect. Which 7 was it? No, it was because 7 enabled friggin' 8 and 9.
7 was the enabler.
It did.
That's cruel and unusual.
It isn't. It's true and factual.
Joaquin Kiwi says,
Yanni.
God damn it, YouTube. Joaquin Kiwi says, or here. Ooh. I need to have like a voice bot set up with that one time you managed to say disco say hoo.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
we did get her.
It's so dead inside too. Like it's just. Yes, it's so dead inside.
We get her to say so much on our channel. That's great.
But she doesn't really. She doesn't put the passion in it. That's the problem. It's just a very dead ooh.
She started. They actually have multiple oohs. Ones that have more passion in it. Because she does it more now. Because people donated again to get her to say it. It's true.
That's good. We need multiple takes of it, I guess. To be fair, the PogChamp one was pretty good, because she sounded about as exasperated as it needed to.
Yeah, she's like, fine, I guess you are my little PogChamp. Oh my god, that's right. We got so much money for that. I got enough money, I gave it to Arch, and Disco, and Hands. And they all said it. I guess you are my little PogChamp. And we have clips of it.
It was pretty disgusting, frankly.
It was funny because Arch really had a hard time doing it. We have the clip. It's in the Bickering Bunch clip section. It's quite a ways up. We can be canceled with all those clips, honestly. At
Quebec
least
Kriegsman says, I hope you're keeping well, Arch. Glad I'm not in Australia where you're being advised not to talk face to face. That's the person called me. What do you expect? I'm pretty sure I dodged COVID recently because both my parents were laid out fucking cold with something. So,
maybe they're dead. Like,
Skullthrone 888 says, Neoth's name better be Jack.
Jack.
Neoth.
Jack Neoth. Ban him. Ban him now.
Jack Murphy. What's wrong with Jack Murphy, Kyle?
No, I thought I said Jack in front with Neoth. Oh my god, I thought it was like a Jack Neoth thing, you know? No?
Disgusting, Kyle.
Yeah, that's where I thought this is going.
Your filthy fetishes into everything.
It's a joke and you like it. Don't lie to me.
Disavow, tiny Kyle. Davos Aurelian says, here's to seeing you all make a Big Daddy E versus Darth Vader or Chad Skywalker a thing. Or better yet, someone more on the Emperor's level, Abeloth. Oh, Jesus.
Abeloth.
Abeloth. Don't you know? Abeloth is the woman thing, I think. The creepy one.
That thing. The thing you sent me, that picture with the derpy little smile, I was like, oh, it looks kind of adorable.
Yes.
It's not that scary looking, to be honest with you. It looks kind of cute.
Jesus. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, Kyle,
but
you know how I pay you to be my co-host here?
What am I going to have to pull up?
That when I feel like it.
What is it?
So, you're going to have to read this one from Mike and QV.
Oh, God. Oh, that's bad. I'm only reading this because I get a percentage of the pay. I didn't do this willingly, Chath, and nor for free. He says, pounces on you. Rawr, rawr, rawr. What's this? Notices your bulge. Let's have little looksies. A little looksies. Oh, no. No.
Disgusting. Right.
Oh, I was right. Scully did say it's a Jack Neoth joke. That's what I thought it was. And Barch is dumb. It went right over Barch's dumb little head. And Kibbs caught it because Kibbs is a god and smart and knows all things. Yes, omnipotent. Omnipotent Kibbs. Jack Neoth.
Omnipotent Kibbs.
It's Jack Neoth. See, I got it. Why didn't you get it?
It was dumb.
Because you're dumb? He's like, no, maybe. That's besides. Oh, no.
Right. Now chat has been given what Kyle refers to as kibby noises, courtesy of Viking Kiwi.
That's pretty cancerous. I expect reparations, even though you give me so much Viking Kiwi. But you know how that is.
Chat is not amused. Good.
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 It's not my fault. I had to read it, Chant. I don't have a choice.
It's true. I wasn't going to read it. It was the only option. Oh, Jesus. The worst is, I have seen that act out in real fucking life. I have seen ERP with my own two innocent eyes, and I was too young to understand. Oh, I'm traumatized. Disgusting. Mark Ashamed says, Reach is the best Halo game.
No, it isn't. It's spongy. The enemies are too spongy. This is a problem. A lot of these kids don't understand or remember a based Halo. They've forgotten their ways. Don't lose your way. Start singing the Kill a Kill theme. That'll be great.
Samuel Edding says, every time someone oohs, Kibbs loses a brain cell. Still need that soundboard.
Soundboards are, I don't know. I don't even know how one would work. But I imagine they would work somehow. He's like, thank you, Kibbs.
There would just be a soundboard of disco noises, presumably. So, I imagine cat would be up there.
Cat! Every time she yells at the cat. I miss the times when she yelled at cat and then disco would disconnect because cat unplugged computer.
The one in the middle of the sentence, cat.
And it's like, where'd Disco
Silence.
go? And it's like, Kitty did it. Disco's mad somewhere. There's a kitty being thrown across the room if I had to guess.
E. That's Kitty in Scottish, apparently. That poor cat. Reguline says, every time someone ooh, Kibs is bread. Hashtag breed Kibs. Kibs is bread.
I don't think so.
But is he whole corn? Or is he, like, fine bread? Is he loaf?
You're a loaf. No, I'm
That's a
not.
question that isn't being asked often enough.
I'm not a loaf, I'm just a barch. And it's like, that's basically a loaf, though. He's like, oh, a barch boof. A boof. It's true. Fact, even. Science. Some might even say.
Mocked Ashamed gives a very generous $50. Thank you very much, sir. I remember the Renegade X Discord announced channels which had some odd messages. First, a dev posted a help transphobes are after he, her, it. Then another post said they had to let this dev go, but is withholding server access. It didn't get resolved.
Wait, what? So, withholding server access. So, this person, one of the devs, said that. That's interesting bit of information because we were actually planning on doing a Renegade X community event again once they had launched their new Tiberian Sun update because it looked pretty good. Kudos to those guys though. They put a lot of work into that. That sounds weird. So they've been dealing with this SJW stuff too, and one of the developers went nutty.
Well, sounds like they went nuttier.
But they kicked them out for being nutty?
It did get resolved, he says, so I'm presuming so.
So did they do the right thing?
That's for you to find out, Kyle.
Arch. See? If you do that, sometimes Arch gets really annoyed and he's like, shut the fuck up, kid. And then you just laugh at him like, hey, hey, hey. What are you gonna do? You cry? True.
You're by.
You're just mad and jealous of my mad skills.
Desert Hamster says, every time I see a piercing through the nose like that, I think of pigs getting their snouts pierced so they do not dig up the ground.
Oh my god. I didn't know that was a thing.
See, nose piercings can be very attractive, like the ones on the nose. Like the side of the nose, stuff like that. Or even like on the top lip or something like that. I can dig that, but through the fucking nose, it's like it's through the nose. Like it's full of things and bugs and shit. And what do you do when you get cold?
You
Do
die.
you just blow your nose and it gets stuck in the ring, or do you remove the ring? I'm assuming you take out the ring.
Yeah, I don't really get that. Like, I dated a couple girls that got like piercings, and one of them got piercing through their nose, and I thought that was weird. I was like, why though? Like, is that annoying?
Weird.
Like that? Does that feel weird? Like, stop it. Like, don't do it.
He came home one day and was like, "Look, I've done this," and constantly just took her aside, very calm, very collected, sat her down. It's like, "I'm breaking up with you now." What?
I mean, maybe. What? The disbelief in that was quite great. The sadness. You could even hear the tragedy. Arch could have been that girl. I was like, what? Got him. That's the very same kind of what, too. Proof. Science, even. Barch is whamming. Barch is whamming. Don't hide it. He gets quiet and he tries to make it awkward, but he knows that I'm right.
I succeed in making it awkward.
You don't. A loser.
Then you'll have to give up. Polish ambassador says, "Kibs haven't been bred so far. I'm leaving forever." Well,
well, that's very literal.
you have to try harder.
It's true. Get good, scrub. He's like,
Making Kyle bread is a long and difficult process.
it's true. I don't even really know what that entails. In fact, I'm quite confused myself.
Only the most stalwart will succeed in making bread out of Kyle.
Not everybody can become a piece of bread, but me. I'm a special case.
Adoman says Warhammer 3 now has diplomacy from Three Kingdoms. That fixes everything now. Oh, goody.
What about the
They've
siege battles?
they've made another feature in another game.
What about my naval battles? What about my amphibious battles? What about the rest of the game? What about my voxel-based city destruction?
It doesn't matter, Kyle.
Single
doesn't
tear
matter.
rolls down my cheek. What about the map actually being an actual map? So when you have a battle somewhere, it actually is like is on the map. It's not just pre-made maps. What about anything that actually matters?
It will continue to not matter in the sequel as well.
That
Is
seems
all I
like
can assume.
that does seem to be the case. I do not like this.
Total War is dead.
It is.
Surprisingly fine with this. I will remain surprisingly fine with this. Until they announce Total War Pike and Shot. Then we'll have a problem.
And then you'll be sad. You'll be like, oh no, Bargeman Seed. And I'll be like, hey. Suffer as I have suffered.
Quite possibly. Adoman says, what am I... No, that one. Boag says, if the constant utterance of the word like wasn't enough proof that Gibbs is a Valley Girl, the petty, jealous, sourly erases all doubts. Hashtag Valley Girl Gibbs.
I think this is called cope.
I too agree that this narrative is worth pursuing.
Sounds like
Valley Girl.
Cooping and seething TBH.
Valley Girl Gibbs. That's fine. At least he's not Glee Gibbs. That would be...
What in the
awful.
fuck is Glee Gibbs? That sounds
Glee. It was a thing that was on the television.
Glee. That sounds bad.
He would prefer to not know much about it, frankly.
I think
It was sad.
think I would. That sounds pretty bad, to be honest with you.
Chris Mann says, Death Battle as big as issues. They are making a lot of their fights now extremely one-sided. They're leaving out abilities. See, that's the thing. I remember Death Battles was actually pretty cool at one point, where they had some battles where they actually went really in depth and went through a lot of stuff. And they even did some pretty pedantic shit, like the Goku versus Superman one, where they took the time to like measure out the average length of the little teeth things, the crenellations on the Dragon Road, to figure out how fast he was. That was really cool, but they are also kind of lazy on occasion. They cannot keep up that level of quality, and so they should be ashamed of themselves. It is the only way. The only way forward. Sideways. The way forward is not always the way forward, Kyle. Sometimes you have to take a sideward step as well.
Why?
Because I say so.
He said, because... See, I knew that's where he's going to go with that. He said, because I said. Therefore, that's how that works? Says Arch.
But he was too slow on the trigger. I mean, you doubted yourself. You doubted your abilities. And so instead of coming across as cool and
collected,
omnipotent, you just came across as...
divine, even.
Just weird.
But why? Do you ever notice how the German AI will always attack through the Majene? Is it just... Why? Why do they do that? I think Bard should be punished for this sin.
Viking Kiwi confirms that he has indeed found himself a new favorite VTuber, as he says, Orca Girl is best new girl. Deserves many
Orca? Alright, Arch. Come on, weeb. Spill beans. Yeah, okay.
No, I think it's the second generation of the HoloLive English VTubers, I think. I haven't looked into it.
Second
It's
version of HoloLive English. That's weird.
Yes. They do waves of them.
They come in waves. That sounds
Yes.
interesting.
They need to replace casualties.
Casualties. The ones
Although
canceled
I
by
don't think
China.
they've yeeted any of the English ones so far, so they've performed well, I suppose.
They have done good.
The Grizzly asks, so what do you think the future of miniature wargaming is, and what do you think will it take to dethrone Games Workshop as the top dog? Honestly, I suspect the future of miniature wargaming is going to be digital, if anything. I think there will still be miniatures that you could buy. That'll probably be 3D printable miniatures, STC files, stuff like that. But as like a major hobby, I don't think it's going to survive its meeting with the casual market. I think it will move more and more towards digital. As for GW, they will dethrone themselves at this rate. They have done enormous damage to their image and their fan base with their recent actions. Now, is that enough to topple them? No, I don't think so. But you got to remember, at this point, we're talking about a £200 million a year studio. They're not going to have any kind of a sudden collapse. It'll be a very, very slow one, if any at all.
Mm-hmm.
It would take a very long time. Sentinel Rex says, hear me out, Commissar William Defoe. No, and you're banned.
Bye.
It's a little harsh, he thinks to himself. Is it, though?
Just little.
William Defoe.
Bit extreme, really.
I don't know. William Defoe it's pretty awful.
Arch is not liking what he's hearing. Let's just leave it at that.
Corey Coleman says, Henry Cavill as Lehman Russ. See, no. Cavill...
That's right. You
see, we talked about this, right? And we agreed Mark Strong needs to be Horus Lupercal. Like that one's set in stone. That one's bankers. And Sargon was very much so like, oh, Cavill needs to be the Emperor. I don't think Cavill should be the Emperor. I think Cavill should be... Oh, goddammit. I'd thought about this, and I'd come up with a conclusion, and then I forgot about it.
God damn it, Arch.
I'll help.
You never told me what you came up with. You know what Barge probably wanted? Barge probably wanted Mark Hamill. He's like,
Something wrong with you.
How about Harrison Ford? He looks... Oh my god, that's an actor that looks like he's ready to just fucking die already. Like, he's just done. He's like, just kill me.
Now, Cavill could do Lehman Russ. He could. He absolutely could. But still, I'm still honestly leaning more towards Sanguinius, honestly, than I am Lehman Russ. Because, yeah, no. Alternatively, you know what could work too? Fulgrim. Fulgrim could actually work for Henry Cavill too, I think. I really... It depends. It depends if he can do that kind of noble assholishness. Because, Henry fucking Cavill. All right. If any man is going to make me homosexual, it's going to be that man. All right? We'll put that out of the way. That's my big admission for the day. Because he is so fanboy about what he likes, and I fucking love that. He can geek out about these things, and he has that passion to really put the best effort in. And in a time and place where we don't get any good fucking geek entertainment, he is the sole fucking beacon of hope in the entire goddamn industry. The fucking Witcher people, when they killed Roach, the writer wanted to make that into a comedy scene where Geralt was supposed to start cracking wise ass and making jokes about the death of his horse Roach. Like, what the fuck? What are you even thinking?
Fucking horse.
It's so stupid. It's so fucking out of left field. It's so unbelievably dumb. And Cavill, like the fucking Giga Chad he is, basically begged the writer to be like, no. We can't do this. I hate this. This is fucking awful. And eventually he got to rewrite it, and he made it into a really good scene. It's like, how many disasters has he saved us from already, huh? That is a good question.
The question is, how true is Cavill to being a good lad? Okay? These are the questions. That we need to have a purity test, I think.
I mean, he's putting on a pretty damn good pretense so far. Very good pretense.
Because I don't know, I just have this suspicion where Cavill will just flip-flop over and be like, he'll just become, like, super wokey about it. And I could be wrong. But it's just this feeling that just exists there. It's like, it happens all the time. I've just sort of accepted the fact that, yeah, it's probably woke or something. Like, that's just how it is.
I mean, he could simply just have... I will say this. I will say this, right? He does strike me as almost a pinch too good to be true.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's always very perfect in what he acts and presents himself like. And he always comes across as an incredibly likable and great dude. And I'm just like, But does he just have a really good PR agent?
That's true.
Modern entertainment has made me fucking cynical.
You should be cynical, Barch. It's the only way we'll survive. He's like, oh my god.
The chat brings up an excellent point. If Henry Cavill was woke, he'd be getting a lot more work. It's true.
You might be right, chat, but never blindly hope. Just be cynical and be like, it's only a matter of time before it all ends. And then you'll be miserable. Yes, do that. Do that. Okay, we'll do it a little bit. Just a pinch.
We'll see. We'll see. I still have hope. I'm hoping that one day, when the wokest civil war begins and the pushback begins proper, he will come out as a massive anti-woke leader, and we may rally around Superman. That'd be lovely.
Superman? Bro, what are you doing?
To be fair, though, I hated... It wasn't that he did anything wrong in Superman. I just hated their entire take on Superman. It was... the recent Superman movies were not good. They were just... No.
They did look a bit special. I didn't watch them, so I can't really comment too much. I looked at the trailers and was like, no. Decided to pass. Looks like I won.
Yeah, there's another one, right? Okay, here's what we'll do, chat. We'll gather a few $1 billion, which should be easy enough, you know. I will prostitute Kyle for a few years. It should work out.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, yeah. It's fine. And then we'll sponsor a movie about the life of Christ, except we won't make it torture porn like that other person made it. And then we'll cast Cavill as Jesus. And then we will just rely on him having that charisma and that good boy point to make millions of horny women around the world into devout Christians overnight. And then we'll launch the Crusades. Yes, it's a flawless plan. Foolproof.
Once you got the women all horny, then the crusading can begin, chat. Like, how does that make sense?
All the men will be like, yeah, women want crusaders now.
Yeah, they're only gonna fuck me if I kill a few heathens.
Precisely.
It's true.
It's perfect. It is actually perfect.
That's how the original Crusades happened. Women were like, not spreading the legs till I see some heathen blood. And like, okay. They go off to Jerusalem.
like that line from the first season of Rome where Titus Pullo is talking to, what's his face? That person, yes.
Oh God, no!
He was asking marriage advice for his wife Nairobi. Fuck, why can't I remember his name? Because with Titus Pullo and Titus Pullo and
the main character, the literal main character. He's blonde. He's blonde. He's a pretty good actor. Yeah.
I know he did a very good job. It's like Titus Pullo and. Fuck.
Chat. Start snapping. Chat, it's up to you. Who's the main character in Rome, HBO's Rome? Come on, chat.
God damn it.
Lucius?
Oh, Lucius Varenus. Lucius
Yes,
Varenus.
there you go.
That was this, Lucius Varenus.
Good, chat. Good, yes.
Jesus Christ. that one was in deep. Right, yes, but Titus Polo is giving Lucius Varenus dating advice. Because Lucius Varenus in Season 1 is a real dick to his wife, which is why she cheats on him. And he's like, I don't know how to treat women. I beat her frequently, and yet she doesn't seem to like me very much. I'm like, oh.
That's kind
weird.
of strange.
It's a mystery right there. Have you considered using a softer hand? I'm like, no. You think she'll like that? Maybe.
I do like that. His advice to him. I also like how they slowly, begrudgingly become friends. Like, originally, he sort of, like, Lucius looks down on Titus a little bit. But then he's like, yeah, no, Titus isn't so bad. I also like the fact that in Rome, like, Titus is the one who bangs Cleopatra and knocks her up. Or it's alleged. It's like, oh my god.
Mm-hmm. That's an amazing series. Oh, Rome is so fucking good. Rome is so good. But anyways, Titus Polo's advice to Lucius Varenus wasn't just to beat her softly. It was also to bring her the bloody heart of an enemy, because, quoting, they'll profess to not like it, but it makes them wet as October.
Wet as October. That's terrible. And also incredible at the same time.
Mm-hmm. There you go. So we've solved the problem. We have figured out how to launch the new Crusades. It'll just require a little bit of cooperation from Henry Cavill and millions of horny women. There you go.
Welcome, chat. We've solved it.
So hard, really?
We haven't really solved any problems, but we have caused some wars.
We presented a way forward. That's what we've done.
Yes, that's the diplomatic way of wording that, I suppose. Yes, most definitely.
Polish ambassador says, Arch, give me Kibs. I'll make him her submit good.
Make him her submit.
I like the doubt in his voice there.
He's like, I'm not quite sure what Kibs is, but I'm sure I'll figure it out as we go.
During the exploratory phase.
The
questions will be asked and answered.
exploratory phase.
Speaking of Total Biscuit,
Total Biscuit.
I'm here to ask and answer one simple question. What gender is Kibs?
I don't think that's what you're here for, Bart. I think you're lying. I think what you're doing is pulling a barge. Well, a little bit of a barge right there. Shit, I wouldn't.
Several hours later, he's still arguing the definition of fun. Oh, I do miss that fucking little bastard. Because I stopped watching his videos further on in his career because he did go batshit insane. But I still remember that one video with Ziggurat, I think, or something. And you could tell he wasn't that interested in the game, but he started like an hour-long discussion with himself as to what is fun and what can be defined as fun. Oh, just Jesus.
Sounds like a bit of brain damage, if you ask me, mate. It's all right.
It's okay. You don't need a hard scientific definition of fun. Oh, well.
You need not worry about it, Boich.
Viking Kiwi says, the pain is why we keep making her saying things. Yes. Polish ambassadors, I've had Kibs once. He is bad lover. Oh.
That's not good.
Like, really?
Bit cancelled.
That's terrible. It's terrible.
Big sad. Big sad.
Linton Hill says, how would one go about making Kibs bread? Do you need self-raising flour or a little bit of salt? Both.
A little bit of, just a pinch of salt, mate. Just a little pinch. All right.
And Viking Kiwi explains that no, the Orca is apparently not English. Well, Kiwi, that's even less of a reason to care then. You think I'm here to watch Moon speak? Pog says, shout out to all the big peepees in chat. Heart cute as rabbit.
Interesting.
Bog's weird. He also says, congrats to Pippa on 20k subs. Kibs should learn. If Kibs could grow this fast, they would be good.
See, the thing is, Boog, these people aren't real. They're fake. They're fake people. None of these people are real. I'm getting... this is what I get. I watch one anime and I've got an existential crisis now. That's what I get for watching Lane. Now I'm like, who am I really real? Am I the real Gibbs? Who's the real Gibbs, chat? I don't know. Somebody, I guess. The uncertainty is quite pleasing.
Evil Potato says, Arch is like a large dog. I don't like where this is going. And if there's any mention of white women in this...
it's a sacrifice we're willing to take, Barch.
Arch is like a large dog. He knows he's superior, so he doesn't have to be loud and outrageous. Gibbs is like a small, faggy dog. Okay,
wow, rude.
He knows he's inferior, so he needs to show off so people don't notice his submissive nature. Beat Gibbs.
Sounds
that
like
worked out much better than I thought.
Coop! Start screaming.
Chloe says Gibbs need to adopt several immigrants. His game would be developed faster, or he could have them enforce copyright or catch internet pirates whilst he develops his game full time.
Could make a lot less money. True.
You're assuming you have to pay them.
Archer's like, you could just not.
You could just
He
not,
just
yes.
winks. It's like, you could just not pay them.
You literally could just not. Yes. Chris Mann says, Bjornsson the Mountain as Russ. Oh, the Mountain as Russ. See, yes, but no. Like, no. Because, yes and no. Yes and no. Because I feel like he's not feral looking enough. If anything, he could do maybe Dorn. He could probably do Dorn. Yeah, he could probably do Dorn. Maybe. Now I'm being quizzical because Dorn needs to have that full-on square. Like the person who should have played Dorn is Johnny Rico, that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Because that fucking chin. That fucking chin.
He's got a chin only of mother good love. No, kidding.
That fucking chin.
Power chin is what we call it. Power chin.
It is a power chin. There's no doubt about it.
Il défend. Power chin.
Corey McColeman says, yes, Sanguinius is a perfect fit. I stand this also. Correct. Marked Ashamed, Fabius Bile will find a way to outdo Belisarius Cole by making female Chaos Space Marines. Hell, I wouldn't put it past them. And hey, it'd be somewhat fitting in his own retarded way. And Gino says, Cavill as Magnus the Red, Tyro DVD approves. Magnus the no.
Who do you think Magnus the Red should be?
No.
Who do you think Magnus the Red should be? Don't lie to me, Bjorch.
He should be someone gay.
Okay. Honestly,
like Magnus the Red should come across as a little bit screwed.
I always like people that are like, Magnus did nothing wrong, and he's like, as he does stuff wrong.
Magnus did everything wrong. There are very few things that Magnus did right. That's the problem. Now he was tricked. That's an excuse, but he was still tricked. Chloe says, okay, hear me out. Young Arnold Schwarzenegger as Angron. Imagine all the Korn berserkers with Arnold-like voices. It fits them in a funny way. Not impossible, but you'd need to scar him up a little bit first. Oh, scar him up a little bit. Carve up his face a little bit. Might be a hint cruel when you come to think of it.
Just a pinch.
Right here, Arnold, this is a steak knife. What am I to do with this? Stab your face with it. Okay.
Okay. I like how in your... He just very much goes along. He's like, you know what? All right, sure, we'll do it. I mean...
Well, again, this is young Arnold, right? Young Arnold acts like he did in Hercules in New York. You know, he's probably desperate for work at that point.
This doesn't sound good, Barge. This sounds very bad.
I imagine the sound effects as he's carving himself up to like,
Fucking
it'd be great.
Uh-huh.
It would be great. Be a little weird, but it would be great. Evolved Potato says, but who should play the Primarch of the best chapter? Who should play the Lion? Breed the fake gamer girl, anti-vax, and cab cattrap. Kibbs doesn't have a gender because it is property. Kyle is an object. Correct. That is a much better interpretation.
False.
And honestly, the Lion, who even cares? The Lion is a bitch.
Oof, yikes. You just posted truth. You're gonna get banned.
Straight up. So he needs to be played by, I don't know, like one of the characters from Sex in the City or something.
One of the characters from Sex in the City.
Yes. There you go. That's the Lion right there. Or oh god, what was that incredibly gay one? There was an incredibly gay TV series with like 2 gay friends and a woman, and it was very gay. That's all I remember. It was very gay.
Do not remember this.
It was very gay.
Yeah, no, I don't remember that. Ooh.
Oh well.
It sounds like a Barch thing.
IDW then says, if G4 is hiring fake gamer girls, Kyle should apply. Kyle should apply to become a VTuber. That would make him way more popular than G4.
Never.
And he can be a fake gamer girl there too.
See, if I was a gamer grill, I'd have... Oh my god, I wouldn't be developing a game, actually. I'd just be like... I'd be a whore. Fuck. I don't want to be a whore. This isn't the ending I want. This is kind of cringe. Well, that's unexpected. But welcome.
Let me just test something out here real quick. Hold on. I'll finish the super chats in a second. I've discovered Kyle's dead sleeping body on the edge of Disco's castle, and I'm seeing if I manage to drag him over the edge.
Why would you do this to me?
He just won't fall.
This sounds like racism.
Oh well.
You better rape Arch.
Boag says, Kibbs watches Lane. Goes back to being a 13-year-old. Imagine what will happen if he watches Girls' Last Tour or Ergo Proxy. See, Girls' Last Tour never ended, in my opinion.
Never ended.
And if anybody tries to correct me on that, just be aware that I do have moderator privileges.
I mean, it is your server. I'd be surprised if you didn't have moderator privileges in your server. I know, right?
Yes, Girls' Last Tour had a happy ending. They found more people, and they're living happily ever after. It's great.
Well, now I know it's got a bad ending.
No. Good ending. Good ending, Kyle. It ended well. Pleasantly, even.
How bad was it? Just be honest.
Pleasant. Mark Shame says, interrogated chaplain Asmodee. My gosh, repent. No. I considered your request and I denied it.
Wow, rude. Can you believe that, chat? Hashtag.
And then Viking Kiwi with a very generous 1,000 Norwegian kroners. This is for the Arc access. Oh, good.
Yeah, I told you.
He doesn't get that. He might even get a benefit from this. There might even be resources raining on his base at some point suddenly out of the air.
Just random tributes. He's like, wow, the gods have blessed me.
I've discovered the in-game loot shop.
It's... Who would have thought it was just Barch?
Now to the serious topic. VTuber Fem Arch stream when? And Fem Arch body pillow. See,
Fem
you asked
Barch.
for that. And I might sell it at some point. Just as a joke.
As a joke. As a joke? No, Arch. You're going to be honest. You finally accepted. You finally accepted what I've been doing to you. You've accepted the fact that you're just secretly a big-titted megalore slut. Really. Huh? Don't lie. Don't try to hide your feelings, Arch. He just gets quiet. It's just.
If you just stay silent, he gets uncomfortable and then he makes noises. Works every time.
No, it doesn't.
Then I can move on to a new topic, because he's spoken and broken the spell. Right. Until next time, thank you all very much for watching. Thank you all for your very generous donations as well. A special thanks to Little Ike and Kiwi, Petty's little head. You didn't have to, I was just joking. But thank you very much.
He wasn't. You would have gotten banned.
You can even join my tribe now. Look at that. I'm nice.
Wow, look at this favoritism.
Favoritism indeed. I'll kick out Kyle to make a slot for you. It's okay.
There's plenty of space, you lying sack. I was like, well, just gotta be safe. You never know. It was feeling a bit crowded, a bit crumped. A bit crumped,
El
some might even say.
Capitan will be lonely without his owner, but such is life.
El Capitan might not be fed, but these things happen, I suppose.
El Capitan has 41 level ups, Jesus.
You should... Oh my god, how did... Oh, I suppose because he was there when we killed that big giant fish yesterday.
Yeah.
He was present, that is true.
And tomorrow we're going to be doing the Skaven RP again. And next week we're going to have a guest. Yes, I know, a week ahead of schedule. We're going to bring on Maka and we're going to talk very badly about GW. Yes. It'll be great.
Sounds like only good things, to be honest.
Indeed. And so, until tomorrow, thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Have a good day.